Good evening, cricket fans. Welcome to Warner Park. We're here for the third match on Sunday, May 21st. The CWI T20 Blaze featuring the top women players in the Caribbean. It's Trinidad and Tobago versus Jamaica. Trinidad has won the toss and has sent Jamaica into bat. Umpires are now signaling to the scorers in the pavilion. And we are ready to go. Saying good afternoon or good evening to Mr. Joel Manning. Welcome in, sir.
Good evening, Monarch. That's what I've been told. Everybody calls you here. And the lovely island of St. Kitts and Nevis. And it's time for the first ball of the evening.
No run on that first ball. Let me just make sure we get the players. So Ramharak is the bowler from Trinidad. Opening batters, Kenisha Farron, she's facing, and Rashida Williams. She's, and there's the first run. This one goes out to, Cow Corner. The fielder from mid-wicket and mid-on, or long on, chased around, allowed the batsman 2 runs. So Jamaica is on the way.
Yeah, probably boosted especially by that win that they had in round number 1 versus Leeward Islands. Certainly coming out and hoping probably to get a second one here. Facing though a team that also performed quite well versus Barbados, that being Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas. So it should be an exciting encounter here in this final match of the second day of action in this CWI Women's T20 Blaze.
And Farron is driving down to mid-on. Long on then, getting a single. And so, batters change ends. 3 without loss. Jamaica. And each of these teams tonight have the opportunity to go to the top of the class. Whoever wins tonight will be on 2 victories. Ramharak comes in once more. And down to long on again. Williams is off the mark.
Yeah, this pair put on 27 run to the first wicket in that first encounter versus Leeward Islands. We'll be hoping to get that plus more, probably take advantage of the power play, especially something that we've not seen too many teams do in this T20 Blaze so far.
Absolutely. Need some more runs. And wow. Another single down to long on. 5 without loss. We're coming up on the end of the first over in the T20 Blaze. Jamaica, reigning champs versus Trinidad and Tobago, who beat the mighty Barbados last night. Barbados, of course, coming back today with a nail-biting win against Guyana. Last ball of the first over. Ramharak to Williams. And there's another single. A quick one. So, over number 1 in this game, Trinidad and Tobago against Jamaica, has gone 6 without loss. Jamaica. It's the T20 Blaze featuring all the top female cricketers right here at Warner Park.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to this contest. As I mentioned, 2 teams beaming and brimming with confidence and under the lights of Warner Park. Certainly with a very cool and exciting encounter on hand. It looks probably to be skipper to pick up the ball from the other end, and Anissa Mohammed. And she's done quite well wearing the colors of Trinidad and Tobago across what has been a very long stint as a women's cricketer here in the Caribbean.
Yes, and She's still playing and doing very well. I could remember 2010. That's what, 13 years ago. She was playing for the West Indies here in the qualifiers for the T20 World Cup.
Come on, TNT. Come on, TNT.
But she's coming in from the southern end, and she will be bowling to Williams, who is 2 off of 2 balls.
Well, you know what to do.
Driven back up the wicket to Mohammed. Looks very busy walking back to her mark. And she will come in again to bowl to Williams.
Keep going, TNT. Keep going, girls. Come on, girls.
When the overrun a ball did Rashada in her last outing, got 36 from 29
Every game is a
in that win for Jamaica.
And did very well. Okay, this one is driven out to cow corner. 1 run is all they'll have.
Well done.
What is good though to see is that intent. And that's certainly what you want to see, putting that pressure on those boundary fields. Just 2 out and these power play overs in long on and deep mid wicket at the moment. But good to see, because naturally you told yourself, well, maybe with this fielder coming off the boundary quite quickly, it should have just been 1, and you probably would have settled for that 1. But good to see that intent quite early for them.
And especially at times when the fielder, take their eye off the ball to see what's happening at the wicket. Right, beaten outside the off stump. Wicketkeeper removed the bails. However, no damage done.
Yeah, probably don't expect to see much turn with this new ball here on this surface. Probably just drifting off. Probably just a bit of a wave movement as well from the bat. First slip certainly comes into play for Anisa Mohammed.
That one pushed out to a short mid-on. No run, so she's got a couple of dot balls so far in this over. Well, more than a couple. 3 of them. This one driven down to long on. Another single. Takes the score to 8. Second of the power play overs here in the CWI T20 Blaze. Anisa.
Trinidad too full, man.
Interesting that every single scoring shot seemed to have gone the same place, regardless to which end you're at. Another single to end the second over, and it's 9 without loss. Jamaica, and they're facing, of course, Trinidad and Tobago, who had a very impressive victory last night over the Super 50 champs, Barbados.
Yeah, quite an impressive victory indeed, and many would say, well, obviously, they lost Haley Matthews, but still quite a dominant side Barbados are. So to come out with such a victory over them, certainly it was nice to see in terms of what it meant for the cricket on show here in the CWA Women's T20 Blaze. Another performance like that will certainly test Jamaica here if Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas can do something similar.
Absolutely. And here comes the third over. Ram Harak is bowling again. That one, big appeal, going down leg. Umpire is unmoved.
Yeah, probably her favorite format here. Karishma Ramarat was in fact in the team of the tournament for the recently concluded Women's World Cup over in South Africa. Quite economical, picked up wickets as well. Looks as if she's just looking to make some slight adjustments in the field, getting things right. Obviously, the wicket of Rashada Williams will be a key one for them.
Okay, and another dot ball. Still at 9 without loss, Jamaica. 2.2 overs have gone so far, And Ram Harak is on her way in. This one is driven out to mid-wicket. Comes in, picks up. 1 run to the score.
What's interesting to note here is the thinking captaincy of Anisa Mohammed. I'm looking down at the boundary and I'm seeing a long on. But given, as you mentioned, in terms of where those singles have come quite early in the piece, she's actually placed herself at what's a very short mid-on position as well, quite straight also.
Yes.
And I guess what that has done,
almost adjacent to the pitch.
Yeah, and what that almost has done is now forced the batters almost to look towards that leg side a bit more, and it's brought the LBW almost into play a bit more in terms of closing that bat face a little earlier.
Definitely.
As well from the right-handed batters at the moment.
Definitely looking to keep the umpire busy. Okay, this one is driven out into the offside for a change. Mid-off picks up and sends it back to Ram Harak, who is about to complete her second over. None for 7 so far. Identical shot to end the over. And a dot ball. So, 10 without loss, 3 overs gone. And it's a T20 blaze here at Warner Park. CWI T20 blaze featuring the top women cricketers in the Caribbean. And I'm sure people are out there watching and listening. This is the 6th of 15 matches, so there's still an opportunity for you to come to Warner Park and see some of these games. All the games are going to be here up until Saturday. On Saturday, though, Connery and St. Paul's comes into play with 2 of those early matches. Nisa in a second over. And she's bowling to Rashada. Both batters has looked very confident so far. Nothing untoward. And this one goes over the head of mid-off, and we are going to have our first boundary of the game. Rashada Williams moves up to 9-14 without loss.
Yeah, quite a pleasing shot that. I just wondered when somebody might take a bit of a risk, and she was actually helped by the over-pitching of Anisa Mohammed on that particular occasion. Just probably got a bit too full, a bit too close to Rashada Williams, and with the mid-off up, it was certainly a wonderful shot. The first boundary for them, that will certainly give her some confidence.
And batters are chasing it down. Here we go, challenging the fielder, and that's what happens. Throw is a bit off, even though I felt that she would have been back for that second run. Williams, 2 runs to her total, 13, and we've moved up to 16 right now without loss. And another quick single again. The intent is quite clear here for these 2 batters. They are challenging the fielders, and so far it's been productive.
Keep going, Twan. Keep going,
Another ball from Anisa. Just pushed out to extra cover. And a dot ball. That's a very good one, forcing the batter to back up just a little bit in her crease, but she pushed it out on the onside. The bowler picks up. End of the 4th over, and 17 without loss. A credible start so far by the Jamaican batters.
Yeah, quite a productive over there. 7 runs coming from it, but it was nice to see in terms of the thinking there of Rashada Williams in terms of, okay, Anissa Mohammed overpitched. She punished her, and naturally you almost knew that the bowler would drag back the length. So in expected fashion, Anissa Mohammed dragged it back, worked into leg side, quite weighted as well. Fantastic cricket so far.
Ramharak.
Oh, this could be a chance.
Oh, just out of reach.
Just
That
goes
one was
begging.
skied on the onside. And just out of reach of the fielder who is in the traditional, well, what you call it, a short mid-wicket? Short cow corner.
Yeah, short wicket position. I actually thought on initial glance that maybe she got a bit of a finger to it.
Yes.
Yeah, you certainly would consider it a chance, especially given how close to her it ended up falling.
And she had to go because the fielder on the boundary was going to drop short anyway. I mean, she had a ways to come in if she, you know, was the one intending to take that catch. Ramharak again. And this one is swept out to deep mid-wicket. 1 run.
You can certainly hear the energy of the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas at the moment. Yeah.
That's the gap that was plugged. Driven out on the onside, and the fielder at short mid-wicket picked that one up. Ramharak. She's in her third over. Okay, this one goes through the gap. So good batting from Williams, recognizing, of course, that Anissa Mohammed is trying to plug that gap there on the onside. And she was very creative, getting it through the 2 close fielders, going out to the long on.
Over.
Last ball, a dot ball. So we've completed 5 so far. Jamaica has made a credible start. 20. 4 runs per over so far. Projected score 80. And now we're gonna, of course, introduce our third voice for the day. Mr. Wilman McCall is.
25 leg, right?
He comes a calling.
Good evening to you, Monarch, and good evening to the viewing audience. It's a good game here in Prospect, given the fact that these are 2 rather strong teams. And what I noticed, though, with those 5 overs, is that many of the ones were worked through the mid-on on the onside, straight mid-wicket, and so on, which tells me maybe the line is a little too straight. And of course, that gave Barbados the opportunity to score. Now, here is one that is turned away on the onside, backward of square. 2 runs have been had so far. And Anissa Mohammed Leanne Kirby just erred there in her line just for a moment. And she allowed a ball to be walked away for 2 runs on the onside. Leanne Kirby, of course, bowling from the far end on the southern end. Ball plays back to her, in fact, misfield. And my coach always said, never run on a misfield.
Why not?
The opportunity for you to be run out is greater then than any other time, because as it almost happened there.
What's the percentage?
Well, I can't give you a percentage.
Oh, he didn't tell you that?
No, he didn't give me a percentage. But, you know, I've had my experiences with hitting a ball and somebody misfields and then you try to take a run. They recover quickly before you can make your ground. Here's one that is short and attempted pull on the onside, and that one was, she missed it and collected by Boyce on the behind the wicket. According to the projected score, 76. At least we cannot pay that any mind. The current run rate is 3.882, and hence the projected score of 76. Of course, one played out in the onside, and slight misfield there, and Williams was turning to to go for a second one, but Ferron was not going along with it, and so the second one was avoided. However, I've heard many of the commentators talk about the intent from some teams, particularly the Leewards. They will play. Oh, there's a ball that was played back to the bowler.
Very casual.
Very casual, just a pat back.
But
and the cotton ball.
It has presented the break that Trinidad and Tobago was looking for.
Yes.
And so, Kenisha Ferron, she's out for 6 from 15 delivers, 23 for 1. After 5.5 overs.
Leanne Kirby making the break for the TNT Red Force. Of course, they've been waiting for this for a while, and the Barbados scoring rate has gone to 4. It was at 4, and the projected score, of course, would have gone up a little further than as it was 72. And to get a break, that will put a halt in terms of the run rate, and the new batter would have to come now and establish themselves. And this will give the Red Force a chance to at least, do some recovery work. The run rate was looking ominous, and the two batters were looking very comfortable and very competent.
So, Chedi Nation comes to the crease. She will, of course, be facing Kirby, and she's has a record of 13 matches so far. Kirby from the southern end, and this one, of course, is pushed out in the onside. An easy single to end the over, but a very successful over from Kirby so far. 1 over, 4 runs, 1 wicket, and she had 3 dot balls included as well.
A good over by Leanne Kirby. I'm sure that her captain Mohammed would be quite pleased with the change, having asked Ramnarat to give way to Kirby.
No.
And of course,
she gave way
to Kirby. Okay, and of course, this of course must give you some pleasure, having had the first wicket. Nation comes to the crease. Nation, of course, is one of West Indian fame, if I may want to say that, having had international experience. And of course, she should be quite comfortable with a position like this as we stand at 24 for 1. Jamaica, that's the signal by the umpire. Is that the end of the power play? The end of that power play. So the fielders could be moved from within the circle. More than one could be on the boundary at this point in time.
So Steffi Sugrim has now taken over from Ram Harak, and that one goes down the leg side. Umpire extends his arm to signal the first wide of the game.
A bit of indiscretion from from Steffi Sugrim, and of course allowing just a wide. Here she is up again, wide of off stump, chopped away by Nation, 1-1. Her line was a bit wide there, looking at the way she was chopped away. And we were told once someone can get back and cut you, or they can pull you, it means that your line is a bit short. And so she was a bit short there, and she was chopped away to just cover for a single. Lawrence Williams, she drives pleasantly down the ground. There's someone down the long off boundary. 1-1 taken. And of course, Nation was trying to encourage a second run, but her back was turned. And what I was saying is that many of the teams, they don't there seems not to be the intention to run two when it's presented, particularly the Leeward's team. Here she's again driving down the ground for another single.
No, well, I think it's been a trend in. It's been a trend, I think, since the Super 50. And I was just about to read this note here from Victor Eddy, not sure what it's saying, but.
You can be out off of a free hit.
Okay, we got it.
In comes Sue Grimm. She's played her way down to long on this time, going simply a little further across the wicket. In fact, they are trying to turn for a second. Sue Grimm did not collect the return from the field on the long on boundary. Yeah. And a second one was attempted, but it was averted given the recovery, the quick recovery.
Some loose cricket. Luckily for Trinidad and Tobago, it didn't result in any additional runs. So Grimm again.
Come on, Sue, man.
Driven pleasantly on the ground another time.
That's like flow, Sue Grimm, like flow.
On the long off boundary, another single. 30 as it is for one in the seventh over.
Right flow, Sue Grimm.
And bowled by Steffi Sue Grimm. The left arm seamer, number 7. Of course, Rashada Williams, she is 19 of 22.
That ball.
Yeah, that seems to be creeping into it. Well, it's interesting, this cricket now. For some reason, we feel like we're boundary hitting people, on boundary hitting team, and singles are not as important as they used to be. In comes Sue Grimm. Again, she's up, she bowls. It's played away to square leg. That means she had an inside edge, but she was trying to play it a lot straighter. An inside edge, sending it to square leg, was taken. That's the end of the 7th over. Jamaica 30 for 1.
Well, speaking about boundaries, tracking the boundaries, prior to the start of this match, there's 78 fours, only 2 sixes so far in the tournament, which is quite surprising in a way.
I would like to know what the dot balls are like.
We're into our 6th game so far.
Let me start to work now, guys. Let me start to work now.
Interesting to see, but we know that it's a lot of dot balls. There's no question whatsoever. As Kirby comes in, easy single, push down to long on. Feel that mid off comes across, cuts it off in front of the long on feeler, resulting in 1 run. So Jamaica is, motoring along slowly but surely. 4.33. That's the current run rate.
Monarch, have you ever heard the story that a ball was played dead in the wicket once, and Sharp and John Bowie ran 3? Have you ever heard the story? A ball was played dead, ball didn't go anywhere, and they ran 3.
So the umpire signaled the ball dead?
No, the ball was played. They didn't push the ball into any gap. The ball was hit against the bat.
Yeah, that's possible.
Dropped in front of the batsman, and they ran 3.
That's possible if there's some overthrow.
That's a story that our good friend Bongo would speak about all the time. And but the importance of a single must be cannot be exaggerated, given the fact that many times you can lose by 1. That's a ball played out there by Rashada Williams out into the cover area. 1-1 resulting. Of course, there is no slip, and there's a short third man, a point, a cover, short extra cover, and a long off. On the onside is a mid wicket, a deep mid wicket, a short mid wicket, and a backward square leg. And of course, what I said earlier, that there seems to be the batters were playing most of the balls in the first 2 overs on the onside, which told me either that they were a little too straight, or the batters were getting out and across and working them to the onside. Here is one that is played pleasantly down to into the onside, 1-1 resulting. And then Mohammed recognized that and she plugged it immediately. And that brought about some changes. In fact, it slowed the one weight down for at least overall 2. And of course, if you're too straight, you will be worked on the onside.
But the run rate been hovering around 4 or just a little bit above. 33 for 1 after 8 overs. And let's see, we have Sugrim, who will be coming in again for her second over. First over cost 6 runs.
Here is Sugrim in, and she changed her mind. In fact, this umpire is signaling that's a dead one. 33 for 1, projected score 83. The current run rate of 4.13 per over. Early days yet in this game. This is only the 8th over. She's on driving down to long on, and 1 is taken. The umpire moves away from his position to get a better view. The throw comes in, and that's a no ball. And of course, that's a no ball. That might lead to a free hit. I understand free hits are given from
now he makes the signal for the free hit.
Free hit. And so this gives the opportunity to Nation to launch an attack somewhere against Sugrim. She's in, she's down, and lifts this one high, hard and handsome, way over the boundary for 6 down to the long on boundary. And of course the symphony of female voices raised and cheered as that ball was struck beautifully by Nation, by Rashida Williams into the boundary for 6.
If I was a betting man, I'd win a lot of money on that shot.
Why?
But I guess I was too chicken to say it out loud.
At least she capitalized.
I thought it would have been the first 6 of the game and the 3rd in the tournament. That's exactly what it turned out to be. Oh, full toss, driven to a short mid-wicket, and she dropped it.
Yeah, that was a full toss. It was a little high though, just below the waist, and she tried to hit it over the short mid-wicket. She hit it straight to her. It was high. She parried it up and she couldn't recover, and so that was a drop chance.
Leanne Kirby was the guilty party there.
Beautiful.
She's out driving down to long off, again for a single, pleasantly and competently. Single, we see the singles turning over quite frequently by the Trinidadians, by the Jamaicans, and that is what is required. And then when you get a boundary, the score, will accelerate as we go forward. So Graham again from the pavilion end. She's into bowl to Williams. Williams tried to pull this one around. There's a shot. It passed actually.
Yes.
It evaded. She misfielded it actually, and it ran away where 2 runs were taken. Of course, those are lapses that Trinidad can ill afford, given the fact that Jamaica has the ability to accelerate later on in the overs. And you need to take wickets.
And in the over, that has cost the most runs so far for the innings. 11 runs has been scored off of this over so far with 2 balls to go.
Chopped away to short cover. No runs resulting. The most expensive over, according to our statisticians. Projected score has been going up all the time. It's now 102 with a current run rate of 5.09. Here comes Sugrim. She pulls away, does Williams. She's 29 off 30 balls. I'm going at almost 100 and 29 off 30. So is Nation, who is 8 off 9. Sugrim none for 18 in 1.5. Worked away or hit away through mid wicket. Someone comes off the boundary and there could be a run out here. It was not a good throw, and the runner dived in. Does I think it's Nation, and of course the throw was not good. It fell well before the bowler, and giving a chance to the number 8 to get home, and of course the score 47 for 1.
But that's what happened when you challenge the feelers. And that was definitely a challenge to the fielder because she had the ball in hand before they attempted the second run. They challenged her arm, and of course the throw was off, so batters were in safely. Looks like Rashida Williams had to. Was that her who was diving? Just double check. Nation. It was
Yes.
number 8. Okay. So she's getting some medical attention after having dived in. And just an update, Rashada Williams has now gone ahead on the leaderboard in terms of the batting stats. She had 40 not out in her first game, and now she's adding 31 to that so far. So she's 71 not out in the tournament so far.
Shadow Williams, of course, she looks pretty good when she attacks, and of course I do admire her with those pleasant drives down the ground. They used to say the straighter you play, the longer you will stay, and so she's doing that. But
Except your Viv Richards.
except your Viv Richards, I mean, he will hit you anyway, whether it's across the line or through the line. So this over is bowled by Ram Harath. Ram Harath is back on strike, a single to Nation.
Actually, this is Ramnath.
Ramnath.
Very similar names, but
Oh, I have to get that one right. Ramnath, the 10th over.
yes.
Ramnath. Okay, and she's now in. Bowling to Williams. She plays this one quietly down the ground, past the bowler, and down to long on where it's fielded. Single taken. The Jamaicans are taking this thing over quite well. They're almost at the halfway mark as we are facing the 10th over, after which you will hear the voice of Joel Manning once again. And this one is played pleasantly down to point deep, and there was someone there, and a single taken 50. It is now for 1 in 9.2 overs.
Keep going, Sam.
Rashada Williams is 32 off 32. She's keeping it just about 100. And Nation is just below. She's 10 off 11. Quite a good. This one is pulled up in the air. There's somebody on it. The catch is taken. And there goes Rashada Williams, 32 off 32. Now she hit that one up in the air. Just square leg or backward
Behind
square leg, behind
yes.
square, and she was out caught. Trying to get the catcher's name, if you do help me there.
Sugrim.
Sugrim took a good catch, and so she's out. And the Jamaicans are now 50 for 2 in 9.4 overs.
All right, so it's the drinks break, and I will take a break for Mr. Joel Manning.
Yeah, that is correct. At least we do hope that things will continue as nicely as they have been as it relates to the running of the game. Jamaicans are really 50 for 2 in almost 10 overs, 9.4. And so Ramnath took the wicket in her first over. And let me welcome back to the microphone Mr. Manning. Joel, welcome back, sir.
When you look at this, certainly a good position almost for Jamaica to be in at the moment. You call this a platform, and I think it's a very good platform for them. Yes, they would have loved to have Rashada Williams still there in terms of heading into that halfway stage. But that wicket was a good one for Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas. But I think that currently, looking at the game, is quite evenly poised at the moment. Two good sides, two very competitive sides, two sides that have firepower, especially coming down towards the middle order, especially for this Jamaica side. So you would have to think that coming out of this, if Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas could maybe keep things tight. I see them in some huddles having the conversations, and there's a huddle just to the left of the screen whereby is the skipper along with three other players there in that huddle, three senior players at that, and I have to know that, or rather I know for sure that's really about the tactics heading in to the back half of this game. Who do we go to? When do we go to them? What type of fields do we set as well to ensure that we could keep some pressure coming out of this interval? For Jamaica, though, it's really just about playing what we call smart cricket at the moment. The platform is set for them. If they can probably bat the next, let's say, 5.2 overs, even if just going at a run of ball, they get to just maybe about maybe 80, 90 or so with the last 5 to go. They have a launching pad. That's certainly where they would like to be. But all to play for as we get ready to resume action here at Warner Park.
Okay, it would be Ramnath to continue her over. There are 2 illegal deliveries left in this over. Just before the drink break, we had Rashada Williams, who, in my view, threw her hand away, 32 runs of 32 balls, and got out caught of Ramnath. Here she is. It's on just down the leg side. They struck the keeper. She seems to be in a little discomfort. Apparently no pads, or maybe hit just above the pads. A bit of discomfort for Boyce. Yeah. She received that one, just a little rap.
Yeah, probably just above the pad there. But in terms of Rashada, certainly looking at the field, you would have to say that she was looking to keep the scoring ticking over. So I can't necessarily fault her for the shot that she played.
This one is played back just behind, just backward of square, but short, a run taken. The fielder there was not as sharp as I think she could have been. She could have prevented that run. But a good single nonetheless, as we say in these parts. A good single.
Yeah, a good single indeed. Early calling certainly was the key factor there for the pair, especially given that the fielder at fine leg is dead on the circle.
Here is Ramnath with her final delivery. The score is 52, as it was for 2. Of course, Rashada Williams 32, and Nation is 10. Farron was out for 6 of 15 deliveries, and of course the runway to 5.20 for the next 10 overs. What could be your projected score, Joel?
Well, not necessarily looking at the projected score more so, but looking almost at what have been the average scores across the tournament so far. Yes, still is early days, but 52 for 2 is a fantastic position to be in, looking back at the scores that we've seen in the tournament so far. And I mentioned the fact that in terms of looking at it probably in 5 over intervals, the next 5 certainly is crucial for both sides. And looking at Jamaica, looking at that 5 over interval, even just a run of ball gets them towards 82. And I think that is a perfect platform from which they can launch and find themselves probably in that 120, 130, 140 region, depending on how things go for them in the back half of it. But I talked about the fact that there was a little bit of a huddle, a bit of a circle there for Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas. And because of that, we're seeing another change being introduced here. And it's actually going to be Karbina Alexander coming into the attack to bowl her first. And it's going to be interesting here because I mentioned the fact that this is the part here now where they have to kind of get tight. And if they can restrict the scoring, even if wickets don't fall, just restrict the scoring for Jamaica. It certainly would be good 5 overs for them.
So here's Alexander. She'll be bowling to McLean. The McLean is known for her lusty hitting. She plays this one pleasantly and very crisply to Mohammed and mid-off, and no one resulting.
Yeah, what's nice to see also is that the keeper is standing up as well, keeping Natasha McLean in her crease, because with the medium pace bowler, you probably want to get maybe a step or 2 out, meet it a little closer.
Here is Alexander. She driven pleasantly down to a deep long off position. Apparently there is someone there, and sent back to the bowler, a single taken, and so Nation, she's 2 of 3, and sorry, it's McLean. She's 2 of 3 deliveries, and now facing is Nation, who is 10 of 12. Alexander, she's bowling from the pavilion end. Just outside off stump. This one is cut, just evading the keeper's hand and goes away for 4. To straight third man position. It just touched it and apparently went over the hands of the keeper and down to the boundary for 4.
And just getting an edge there, and that's what you get when the keeper is standing up as well. The inability to probably get to those edges, and this is where field placing comes in as well, because looking at the fact that the keeper is up anything just wide of that off stump, you certainly want to have your third man back on the boundary.
Here is Alexander driven pleasantly again down to the long off position, and I do appreciate those pleasant drives, the straight drive. It's always a very pleasant thing to look at, and very few risks being taken by the Jamaican batters at this point in time. It's 58 for 2 in the 11th over.
Yeah, certainly no risk required at this stage. Just really about setting up that platform for what we call the business overs of these T20 encounters.
Again, hits this one intently straight, but took the inside edge and went to mid-wicket. No runs resulting. You see the keeper, the umpire running away, thinking that the ball would come back, which is what he's supposed to do. It's always something to look at. Alexander again, she sets up, and McLean settles. Again, short and wide of off stump, chopped away down to the cover area, and one run resulting. I take your point though, Joel, about that. If your keeper is up, then you should have something covering in the third man area.
Yeah, possibly, especially given that type of delivery. Was nice to see in terms of what she ended up bowling for the final 3 deliveries, a lot straighter, and that probably is why the third man was there. You would have to say probably she's just a bit too wide on delivery, whereby a Nation was able to get that boundary, but made the correction after that and bowled probably what the captain was looking for her to bowl, especially given the field set with the deep mid-wicket, long on, long off, and sweeping on the cover boundary. So a lot better in terms of the comeback for her on that occasion.
Come, girls, come, girls. And we get some energy going, girls. We too dead out here, girls. Don't wait for nobody to do it for yourself, girls. Come on.
She's bowling to McLean from the southern end, and right arm over, and this one is pulled, missed it, and bouncing off Boyce and going. She collects it anyway, and she retrieved it, sent it back to Ramnath.
Yeah, probably gets away with one there, especially looking at the field. Any bat on that from McLean, it would have been a guaranteed boundary almost for her. Probably wouldn't want to bowl too many deliveries there. Ramnath, her protection is at cover. Actually. Long off, long on a deep mid-wicket.
She floats one up, driven crisply to a short mid-off position.
Yeah, that's probably where she would want to be for the majority of this over, if they are going to keep that pressure on Jamaica, who at this stage are going quite nicely.
She dabs this one to field at like a short third or short point position, and no one resulting. At least you can see she's trying to at least work the ball around to see if she can get a single. The opportunity is not given her. This one is straight. She takes it away to short midweight. A quick single taken, and attempted one out, but not successful. A good cricket all around, and of course the Jamaicans are hoping that they will continue to work these singles, and of course in the next few minutes when the business overs begin, I would leave that to you and Monarch just a few minutes from now, and then that will give some excitement. Here she is in again. She drives down to long on position. There's one, and of course again playing rather straight. I appreciate the straight play, straight batting by the Jamaicans, and of course only Rashada Williams who tried to pull one. Then she perished for her choice of shots. Here she's again to McLean. She punches pleasantly out to a short mid-off position. There is no runs resulting. At the end of over number 12 is 61 for 2. Joel.
I just think it was more so that format pressure for Williams that would have brought about her result. Because certainly looking at the shot that he played, I would have to say that the shot was certainly on for her. And it's really just about ensuring, because she was set in terms of where she was at, and knowing that they're looking to play on that pressure, put on the runs, it was certainly the shot was on for her. Probably just got the timing wrong, probably just maybe wanting to hit it too hard, Rashada Williams, and offered up an easy catch in the end there. But looking at the T20 format, you certainly want to see, especially here, because especially the scores that we've seen coming out, as we see beautiful pictures there of St. Kitts and Nevis. Hopefully many of those lights mean that they're watching the YouTube stream here at Warner Park. But yeah, lovely cricketing action continuing here with Alexander.
Good cricket, well played to Mohammed. Crisp drive to Mohammed, and resulting even if he had passed Mohammed, behind it there are two fielders who could have assisted her, but it was nicely fielded by Mohammed. Alexander moves in once again, just a little wide of off stump, fortunate not to have been caught wide. She stretched, tried to hit it, and it was judged by the umpire to be illegal, not wide. Of course, the batter was trying to encourage the umpire to do otherwise. Alexander bounds in, plays crisply to the long on area, wide long on, and again fielded. Nation.
Well done, girls.
Sorry, she's 17.
We still in control, TNT. We still in control.
Strike McLean. And of course, McLean, like I said, is a clean hitter when she intends to. Here is Alexander. She's up. Hits over mid-wicket, or down to deep mid-wicket. She's challenged. In fact, it beat her into the boundary for 4. A good strike. It was up there to her. She lashed at it. Apparently, it took a more inside edge, and it flew all the way to backward square leg. It was just about square leg before.
Yeah, took a risk on that occasion. It did McLean. Took it off the stumps, but got a brilliant connection onto it. And that helps the score along. Will help her confidence as well. I mentioned the fact that I probably don't need to take that many risks, but you could almost say that was calculated risk from her on that particular occasion. The ball not doing much out to the surface. We're seeing a change here now by Alexander, opting to bowl around the wicket.
Hit high and hard, and a single high, fielded by someone down on the deep long on boundary.
A little upset with herself on that occasion. McLean, you saw the expression after that one. Probably didn't get as cleanly as she wanted, but probably to her benefit as well, because any better and it probably would have found itself into the hands of long on.
Chopped away for a single. And, approaching time when we call it the business area, the last 5. We're now in over number 12. And, Jamaica is hoping to pose a serious total, a total that could challenge the opposition. 68 for 2.
Yeah, certainly what is needed. We've all come here, whether or not here at the ground at Warner Park, and it's nice to see these spectators. I would have been here for the Super 50, and not many came in, obviously, because those games were played during the day in terms of start time as well. But nice to see quite a few spectators in here at Warner Park. But certainly Jamaica at this stage setting up quite nicely for what could be a possible onslaught in the back end of this.
Well, for this season, I have not seen any onslaught at the end of many of these innings. I've seen platforms, I've seen many good setups, and
Come on, TNT, come
but
on,
we have not seen an
TNT.
onslaught since.
Who knows? Tonight might surprise you.
Could very well. I do hope.
No, we're all here for good cricket, and this is certainly what it looks like at the moment from both sides.
Yes.
You would have to say, because even though they've batted well, they haven't necessarily gotten away just yet.
McLean doesn't surprise me. She hits one hard and high. It goes away for 6 runs over long off. That doesn't surprise me.
I talked about the impending onslaught, and that certainly is signs of it there from Natasha McLean on that time. Just a bit too full from Ramnath, and she put all the muscle into that one. That's a good result for her and Jamaica. That takes the score into the 70s now. It's 75 for 2.
In the 14th over, Ramnath suffered as a result of that big blow from McLean. Here she is tucking one nicely around the corner, quick single. And of course, again, like, you know, she had the presence of mind not to even think about the 6 she hit just a while ago. One was on her leg, she tucked it nicely, and the single had.
Yeah, fantastic cricket. I talked about the fact that in terms of at 15 overs, probably might want to be around that 80, well, at that stage it was 52, I said 82, 76 for 2 at the moment.
Chopped away there by
It's going to be runs.
Nation. It's runs here.
And 4 of them, in fact. Yeah, good effort on the boundary, but not enough to save that one. And fantastic cricket, you would have to say, from Shadeen Nation there. Just a deft touch. And really using the pace of Ramnath on that occasion. And this is what you want to see. Their wickets in hand for Jamaica. And I say just elevating, moving into what we call that second gear. And later on in the innings, you would love to see them get into that third gear and post a competitive total.
Yeah, this one seems to be going to plan. The onslaught that you were talking about seems imminent. Seems like it will come. But here is Nation.
Oh yes, Samara, girl. Oh yes, Samara.
No runs.
Only bad balls is going off for girls. Only bad balls.
This is the end of the 14th over. And she comes chopped away again, but finds behind point, a fielder behind point, and so no runs resulting. That's the end of the 14th. It's 80 for 2.
Yeah, as I mentioned, that 82 mark in terms of that 15 over stage. So certainly, in my mind, anything past that here now is a fantastic position for them to be in, especially on the back of not having lost another wicket. And that's how you really go about setting up matches. And I think that is where teams fell down going across the couple games that we've seen so far in this T20 blaze. But this certainly is a pitch map or a road map, you can say, for other teams to follow in terms of setting up an innings. I'm not going to say that, you know, that it might become perfect for them in terms of they actually go on to launch from here, but just in terms of how they got to this stage, it's been fantastic. From in terms of working with the ball in the beginning, didn't necessarily have the explosive power play. It was a very good power play for them though, in terms of getting to that 24 from one of the halfway stage, being 52 for 2, and now obviously heading to the end of it. Things certainly looking good for Jamaica, but back into the attack is the skipper. She attempts to maybe prize one out here and stem the flow of runs for Jamaica.
Yes, Mohammed is back in the picture, and if you want to call on your best bowler, I see nothing wrong in calling on Anisa Mohammed. She's one of the most experienced players in the Caribbean, in the West Indies, as it relates to off break bowling. She's bowling to McLean. McLean tried to chop this one off the stumps, or she tried to cut it, but the ball moved back in to her. It took the inside edge and went down to a short fine leg for a single. Yeah,
when Anisa Mohammed was bowling at the start, it was really about being a lot flatter, the ball just drifting away. You know there's a bit more purchase, the ball is slightly over, and we start there with the ball turning back in to McLean.
Pleasantly driven down the ground again for a single. A little fumble that capitalize Nation and McLean. But when you speak of the onslaught though, Joel, Jamaica is
keep going, yes.
they're well placed for the onslaught, given the fact that They have two lusty last batting. They are big and they are strong. And one would hope to see the onslaught. And here is one onslaught, one hit down, one bounce to the fielder down on the deep, wide, long area. And the single is had. Mohammed has the experience. She will be able to direct things accordingly. And of course, Nation and McLean do have other things in mind for her. Short and wide, short, but not too wide. You missed it. Glad she didn't get the edge. It went to the keeper.
In fact, I could tell you that she's actually quite disappointed there, because knowing that any bat on that was runs down to third man for her.
Hit away to mid-wicket. So Green and this one, they're looking for two. They cannot have two because the fielder is quick. And so that's one more ball to end the 15th over. Of course, 84 for 2 is the score. And Nisa Mohammed comes in with the last 4 runs of this over.
Dead ball.
Oh, that's a little byplay.
It's a dead ball.
Yeah,
Probably
yes.
looking to see in terms of the trigger movement of Natasha McLean there. But Nation, knowing that mankading has become a thing in recent times for cricket, getting back into her crease.
Hit away by McLean. Down to square leg, it goes for 4 runs.
Yeah,
A nice hit by her. It was line just about leg stump, and she swept it or pulled it, as it were, down to square leg for 4.
Yeah, fantastic way to end the over for Jamaica as we head in now. As I mentioned, those business overs ends of the cricket. I mentioned the fact that the possibility of maybe being 82 for 2 for them would be a wonderful position to be in. 6 runs on that. You just wonder, where can they get to? You always talk about the fact that looking to double up in the back end of it. So 30 balls, targeting the possibility of 60 runs. If they get 40, will they be happy with it? Certainly would want to get a lot closer to that 60 from it as we head into the back end of it. And back into the attack will be Leanne Kirby. She's bowled 2 overs, just 1 for 7 from them so far. And she starts with a dot ball, something that she had across her opening spell, which she would have bowled from that same Lozak Road end. It's been interesting to note. In fact, scampering for 2 here could be close. And they get home. But it's been interesting to note in terms of the use of the fielders outside of the circle by Anisa Mohammed, the opportunity to have 5, but at no stage has she utilized those 5. Just 4 fielders each time so far since the end of the power play. And that also has added to the additional pressure on Jamaica across this innings in terms of the inability probably at times to get 1s and 2s. This pair have certainly done quite well. Came together when the score was 50. That means the partnership is now 41 for them. There's been good striking, good calling, and that's certainly put Jamaica in the position that they're in right now.
Yeah, 41 partnership. So Jamaica is motoring ahead, probably to the highest score of the tournament so far. They're going to challenge 128 made by the Windward Islands yesterday against the Leewards.
They really should, given the position that they're in. I mentioned the fact, especially in these back overs, looking to double up. So looking at the fact that there are 30 deliveries left, 60 is the target mark for them. How close can they get to that, especially given that just 2 wickets down? So you pretty much have that license to go.
Absolutely.
Well, tries to get cute, but it doesn't come off for McLean. You almost think of a bunt that you would get in baseball there.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Well, didn't work this time. See what happened? Leon Kirby, she took the first wicket, and she's back again. This is her third over. 1 ball to complete her third, 1 for 10 so far.
Gets that, but just for a single. In fact, the misfield means that they'll come for 2. There's a chance. But they get there comfortably. A bit winded at the end of it.
I know. I'm probably disappointed as well because her back was turned. That's who is this? Nation, Shadeen. Her back was turned, and the McLean saw the opportunity for the second run on the misfield. I mean, you know, she had almost completed the run when Nation took off. But she got there safely, no harm done. 2 runs, takes the score to 93. A 43-run partnership so far by these two, and doing very well. Hoping to take Jamaica to a score that they can defend tonight. Considering they are the defending champions, I'm sure they would like to win this one tonight as well to go clear of all the other teams on the leaderboard.
Yeah, I mentioned the fact they got a bit winded after running that too. And Shadeen Nation went down almost instantly after that. Back on her feet now. And it was actually Nation who was the one that almost doubled up on McLean there in terms of looking for that too. And those are the moments that you like to see in terms of just capitalizing on those small little mistakes.
Absolutely.
In the field, because those are what matter at the end of it, especially in these T20 matches. We've seen them come down quite close. We've seen 1 or 2 come down close as well in the Super 50, but it's just those little moments that kind of swing the balance in your favor in terms of that momentum factor. Especially so nice to see that even though they've been batting for some time and probably will be looking for the boundaries, not settling just for the ones either.
So, Alexander, and she's now coming in for her third over. So far, none for 14 from 2. 93 for 2. Trinidad and Tobago taking on defending champs Jamaica in the T20 Blaze here at Warner Park. And as you stated, it's nice to see some spectators in the stand enjoying some great cricket here in St. Kitts.
Oh, that's a good hit.
4 runs.
In fact, that's a great hit. Boundary for Shadeen Nation.
No, she just stepped into that one and drove it through extra cover. The field on the cover boundary, chased around, but didn't get close to it. So 4 runs, 97 for 2, getting closer to that century. And now the scoring rate, the current run rate, I should say, is up to 6 per over. So we're looking at what? Projected score of 120. I think it's going to be more than that.
Yeah, you would have to say it should be more than that with the platform, especially talking about the fact you're looking to double down. But this is certainly where you want to kind of get a wicket because you want to break that momentum and probably look to build up a couple dot balls. For Jamaica, though, it's really about just going from here until you get to the promised land called home. A wide one on that occasion, and probably not necessarily where Alexander might want to be with the third man up in the circle. Probably got away with 2 now, so that 1 and 1 in the previous over from her. She actually had a 4 where 1 was just back of a length, took the edge and went down to third man for 4, but probably just wants to be a lot straighter around that off stump, going around the wicket, probably looking to be driven back down the ground, driven to cover, reinforce the cover field as well after that boundary.
And as you stated earlier, with the wicket keeper standing up.
Oh, that's a good hit, but it finds the hands on the boundary, and that's the wicket that they were looking for. Shadeen Nation has to go, and 3 down now.
Shadeen Nation, 32 from 32, out caught at deep mid-wicket. And as you said, that is the wicket that they were looking for to slow down the momentum, because with the first ball of this over going for 4, it started out as if it could have been one of those sky towers, one of those towering overs where they picked up over 10. and motoring along to, as I said, the highest score of the tournament so far. 5.94, the current run rate, projected to be around 119. So 97 for 3, and we got 3 overs left after this. So there's still time for Jamaica to, definitely make the highest score so far in this tournament and challenge the Trinidad and Tobago. Challenge Trinidad and Tobago to their first defeat of the tournament.
Yeah, it's just at this stage where you're looking now to build up those dot balls. The new batter is Nasha Ann Wasom. She's come now to face the music for Jamaica. And I talked about not wanting to be too wide. And she pays the price for it. That one hitting the boundary rope.
Well, there you go. Another 4 in the over. And Joel, you definitely spoke about it.
In fact, to the umpire asking whether or not a hit. And I've not seen the signal come from him as yet. Just looking to confirm.
And he's speaking now to the other umpire. Looks like they're okay. Well,
that's an interesting one because it looked as if
it hit
from our vantage point, looking at the screen, especially, that it hit the rope and came back off of it.
Yep. Well.
Oh, short and wide again. Chase is on. This time the ball wins it. And that's going to be boundary.
So another boundary. That one going down square. And as you said, I mean, 3 feelers are in that general area, but they're all short. Anything that goes over, it definitely will go for 4. And looks like we saw 2 4s. The first one, the umpires, I guess with the advice of the player, ruled that it wasn't a boundary. That took the score to 99. And now we're at 103 for 3. So Wasom has come in. And she has definitely made an impression here so far.
It can't necessarily be too hard on the fielder that would have chased down the one that we thought might have been a boundary, especially given that after the slide she had no eye contact with what the ball was doing. Probably would have needed a television replay to confirm that one. Oh, this one goes high into the sky, and it's another wicket down. So the wickets are coming for Trinidad and Tobago Red Fort Stevers.
Yes, they have another wicket down. That's 4. But it's understandable. We're in the 17th over right now. We're in the 17th over right now. And the teams, Jamaica is looking to get a score on the board. They have wickets in hand, so there's no need to be just playing around. This is time. It's the business end of the tournament, as most people call it, business end of the game. So that one driven down to long on, unfortunately, not far enough, and the fielder down there took a comfortable catch. So now Jamaica goes down another wicket.
Yeah, Natasha McLean, she goes for 24 from 20 deliveries. It's 103 for 4. Jamaica now.
And Vanessa Watts is the new batter. Down the leg side. Umpire signals are wide. 104. We're at the start of the 18th over. And Kirby, who's taken 1 wicket for 12 so far. She comes in again.
Go, Kirby. Come on, girls.
Looking to get on with it is Nisha Ann Wasom. In fact, sorry. Vanessa Watts, who's come to the crease to join Wasom. Face the wide and a dot ball there. And this is where I talked about building up those dot balls. I mentioned, in fact, if you could take one, what the possibility could be in terms of dragging the game back for Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. They was in fact picked up 2. And this is certainly a critical phase of the game here for them in terms of breaking the momentum of Jamaica.
And it certainly does with 3 dot balls so far. The only scoring opportunity was a wide well. Now they get a single. So 2 runs from the overs so far, 4 gone.
Yeah, that's certainly what you want. You want 2 new batters to the crease. Both might need maybe 2 balls, 3 balls to assess conditions out there before they can get going, and that means you can start to just pull things back. And then in terms of the shots that they have to play from there, because it is the back end of the game, you know that you're also probably going to get more chances as well with batters who are new to the crease, more liable, probably not to time it as well. But that is going to help their cause. Bowling wides. Extras was something that we saw play a very pivotal role across the Super 50 Cup. And I'm pretty sure that it'll also play a part here in this T20 Blaze as well. So after taking those wickets, after building dot balls, now 3 wides in the over. And that still adds up at the end of the day.
Absolutely. It definitely does. And I'm sure, you know, Kirby probably disappointed. This one goes in the air. Let's see. Drops short of the mid-on. The long on, that is. 1 run. And 108 for 4. And let me just correct Leanne Kirby's figure. She's 2 for 17, not 1. 3.5 overs she's bowled so far. 1 ball to go in her spell here tonight. And definitely some decent bowling from Kirby.
Well, they end the 18th over with a single. It's 109 for 4.
All right, so the wicket takers, Kirby 2 for 18, Ramnath 1 for 19, and Alexander 1 for 24. 2 overs to go. It's the Super T20 Blaze. And we're here at Warner Park.
Ball.
Over. Well, in fact, a confirmation now in terms of the fact that is the end of the over. The umpire is now on the same page as we are up here in the commentary box.
I mean, everybody was set up for that 7th ball. 7th legitimate or legal ball. So there we go. Projected score 121. 12 balls to go. Vanessa Watson 2. Wasom on 7. And this is what Trinidad and Tobago definitely needed. Have 2 new batters at the wicket. Because anything was possible with Nation at the wicket, Nation and McLean, who got to just did they make the 50 partnership? Not sure. I'm going to check that.
Partnership was at 47.
47
for them. And it's going to be Anissa Mohammed to bowl her final over of this encounter. The 19th over, the penultimate over. Some say probably the most important over in a T20 innings in terms of that momentum factor. And for her, it's just about getting the field right. So she's brought the cover off of the boundary at square leg to go back onto the boundary. And especially in this format, we know that the bottom hand comes into place. They certainly expect probably a lot more balls to go to the leg side from this pair, especially a new pair to the crease. Goes to the leg side, but misses everything. The bails are up. And the celebration for Trinidad and Tobago Red Force continues.
Another one goes down, and this is what Trinidad and Tobago was looking for. Wickets, and that's what they've been getting in a rush in the last 2 overs. So looks like Wasom is the batter who goes. And she's going to be replaced by, we'll tell you that in a moment. But yes, it is Burnett coming in to take strike. 109 for 5. And Anissa Mohammed has picked up, I think, her first wicket of the tournament.
I mentioned the fact that you probably would expect them to go legs, and that's exactly what we saw on that occasion from Wasom. Had she opted to go straight, probably even towards that cover position, would have gotten the connection that she desired. But because she's looking for that power, looking for that bottom hand dominant shot, went to the leg side and paid the ultimate price of her wicket. And these are going to be the important balls here. I mentioned that penultimate over the, probably as you consider that extremely important one, just in terms of the momentum factor for a team. Any momentum that you could take into the final over, any team would want. A very interesting stats here being employed also by Shireen Burnett. Just opting to almost prop on that front foot with the back foot slightly behind, and then kind of adjust it as she gets towards the point of contact with the ball. You see many stats is being employed across games these days. But she too is looking to go to the leg side, but can't find the boundary, and boundaries are what Jamaica need here. And no, as we get quite close to the end. Singles though, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas will be happy to give away. Even if it's 2, they'll be happy to even give away that.
Here comes Anissa once more.
And an easy catch it is. The second wicket for Anissa Mohammed. And another break in the momentum for Jamaica.
And Vanessa Watts goes down. 2 from 5 balls. And Jamaica is wilting here, as opposed to, you know, getting to that defendable score. Even though we don't know what that is in this tournament so far, all we can tell you is that the Windwards have the highest score of 128. Jamaica 110 for 6, and they still have the opportunity to do that because there's 7 balls left. 1 final delivery from Anissa Mohammed, who has picked up 2 wickets in this over so far. 2 for 19, and projected score 117. Now, I mean, whereas I said earlier they may have gotten more than the 128. At this point, 117 may not be possible, considering that we're down to the 8th batter in the team.
Well, that's a loud appeal. And the finger goes up. She's on a hat trick. She won't get it because that completes her spell. But she's extremely happy with her figures. Anissa Mohammed, 4 overs, 3 for 19.
She'll get it in the next match. On a hat trick indeed. Anissa Mohammed came on in the penultimate over. And she is doing it for the Trinidad and Tobago Divas. 110 for 7. She's now 3 for 19 as she completes her spell in this T20 Blaze match between Jamaica, the reigning champs, and the Trinidad and Tobago Divas here at Warner Park. And 1 over to go in the innings of Jamaica. And we'll tell you who the new batter is. Jodie Ann Brown. She's striding to the non-strikers end. Burnett, who's 1 from 3, will take strike at the pavilion end.
The final 6 of this encounter. That's going to be runs.
Probably 4 of them.
A valiant effort on the boundary though. Keeps it to 2. Karishma Ramarak to bowl the final over.
Definitely a great piece of feeling. Great piece of feeling down on the boundary. That was heading for 4. The fielder was desperate in that last dive and was managed to stop it without touching the ropes.
Samara Ramnath doing the fielding on that particular occasion. A last-ditch effort to save every run. And that's definitely what you want to see. 5 balls left in this innings. Well, this could be a chance. Ramnath says thank you very much. Wicket number 8 goes down.
112 for 8. Batters are looking to go big. This one hardly left the square. Ramnath taking an easy catch as Ramharak picks up her first wicket today. She is bowling the last over. And we got Wilmot. She's coming out to join Jody Brown for the last 4 balls of the final over here. Jamaica definitely looking to pick up some more runs. Trinidad and Tobago, of course, their ultimate goal is to get these 2 wickets.
Yeah, certainly these 2 wickets or 4 dot balls for them. They'll probably even take 1. Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas, especially given the fact that at the 15 over mark, 88 for 2 was where Jamaica stood. So to be 112 for 8 now with 4 deliveries left, they will certainly be happy with their performance in terms of the ability to pull this game back. A dot ball, gold almost here as we come to the completion of this innings.
I'm not sure that Wilmot got the memo that it's the last over.
Scamper 1. Held the ball there, Ramnath, and you would have to say that I was smart thinking, Craig, given the fact that more than likely they would have gotten home safely. Can't afford overthrows at this stage. 2 deliveries left. Jody Ann Brown to face her first. And tries to get after that one. And they're going to think of 2. They run out his on. And she's got to go. Well, looking for runs. They're finding themselves in further problems, Jamaica. 9 down now.
113 for 9. And Wilmot departs for 1. I'm sorry, that's Jody Ann Brown. She's the one who departed. 113 for 9. 1 ball to go in the innings. And Trinidad and Tobago has pulled this one back tremendously. But considering the scores that we've seen teams defended so far, 113 might just be enough.
Well, you never know. We'll only know after 20 more overs have been bowled in this match. The final batter to the crease, Selena White. 1 ball for her to face. What can she do with it? Well, down the track. Just a single to close it out. So at the halfway stage of this match, Jamaica 115 for 9 they got in their 20 overs. Will it be enough? Well, I guess only time will tell. Well, quite a performance, we'd have to say, from Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas in terms of just pulling back this game. Jamaica, they were set for what looked to be probably the biggest total of this game. And I just think back to that huddle that Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas had at that 15 over mark.
Yes.
And it was where I said they were discussing the plans in terms of who to go to, where to set the fields, and how to bowl. And it seems as if that huddle has paid off for them in terms of the ability to restrict Jamaica. Jamaica, though, even though they've not gotten to probably a total that they might have wanted, probably targeting maybe 130 or 140, given where they were at the 15 over mark, can probably still look and say, you know what, given the average scores we've seen across the tournament so far, maybe we have enough. If we bowl well, if we take early wickets, if we put Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas under some early pressure, maybe we can come out on top of this one. But as I mentioned, time will tell. but certainly an exciting game on our hands.
Absolutely. And just looking briefly at the scorecard, Rashada and Nation both topped it with 32. Rashada 32 from 33, and Nation 32 from 32. McLean made 24, and then, of course, that's where the fall off came. No one else scored in double figures. Jamaica women, 115 for 9. Trinidad and Tobago will need 116 runs in 20 overs to go on top of the points table. And as I mentioned earlier, either one of these teams win tonight, or whichever one of these teams win tonight, they will be on top of the table going into the rest day tomorrow.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it's going to be more exciting action in the Cricket West Indies Women's T20 Blaze.
Any adjustment on it there, or you good? You want any adjustments here?
You gotta go. You gotta go. So scoreboard.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You're good. You're good.
Good there.
Welcome back to Warner Park. It's the second half of the sixth match in the Cricket West Indies Women's T20 Blaze. Trinidad and Tobago going out to bat. And they're trying to score 116 for victory on the
Min.
would like to have none of them as the defending champions.
Come in, twin.
And considering the fact that whoever wins tonight
Brooms.
goes top of the table.
Min. Go ahead.
Can over.
Please.
That's on.
So, we're ready for
William.
ball number 1 in Jamaica's defense of
How many
115.
subs on?
Of course, Monarch, there are 120
No.
balls to go. And of course, 616 runs. We
Go,
almost
Bunny.
have a run ball situation here.
Play.
Given the difference of 4.
Oh, Nancy.
First one is played out into the offside. Vanessa Watts, of course, from the media center end here at Warner Park. Bowling the first delivery. It's a dot delivery. Of course, now there are 119 balls. Here she is, a little round arm, plays it away, does Boyce into the mid-wicket area. She's 1, so there is 1 without loss. And also there are now only 118 runs. 117 runs or 18, okay. 1-1, there we are, 115 runs. Balls 118. So we have to look at that very closely.
I know. You're counting very early, sir. We're in the first over.
It's a game of numbers. It's a game of numbers. That's right.
Yes, it
So
is.
Trinidad and Tobago looking for 115 more runs and another 118 balls to go. Jamaica, on the other hand, would wish to bowl as many dot balls as possible or dislodge as many batters as possible before that is done. 115 runs.
So, Vanessa Watts, she now bowls to Shania Abdul, who is partnering Renice Boyce at the wicket. A dot ball, got that one going through to the keeper. Abdul having a swipe at it outside the off stump, looking to play it down somewhere in the third man or point area, missed it completely. Well, this one goes through, and it's possible that we have the first boundary of the innings.
Yes, a ball slightly wide of our stump, and she took the opportunity to slam that one. It goes to point, and he went away for 4. Of course, that reduces the required, the runs that required. Well, needed. Let me say needed. It's 111. Still have to count.
Absolutely, and that one was just a little bit wider, but the ball before she attempted the same shot and missed it, just reward that second time around.
Oh, yes, Bunny.
And here she is just pushing up to short mid-off.
Ladies, come on.
It's important to
Short
know.
and wide mid-off.
Yes, it's important to know that Stephanie Taylor is not in this team tonight.
Oh, yeah.
She's bold. She's bold. She tried to chop that ball once again. She's been playing that shot quite often. Apparently that's a strength, or maybe that's a weakness. And for the third time, she's trying to chop too close to her. She missed it. cannoned into her off stump.
And a wicket off the final ball of the first over in the Trinidad and Tobago innings. Abdul, who struck a 4 and then completely bamboozled and bowled by Vanessa Watts. And so Trinidad has lost their first wicket. And of course, that's not something that they wanted to, but it is what it is. Well, Joseph, she comes in the number 3 spot, and she will be facing up to Selena White, who will be coming in from the Lozak Road end to bowl to Renice Boyce, who is on 1.
So here is White delivery, and a wide delivery, short and wide, and she cut at it, and it took the edge and hit on the slip. It went to slip, and the catch wasn't taken, and so she lives to fight another day.
Yeah, that ball burst through her hands in her attempt to catch it. Yes, it was definitely above her head. And what I think, though, is maybe that she didn't jump. She stuck her hand in the air. The ball hit her hand and went down in the fine leg area. They got a single and another single again.
Yes.
So Joseph is off the mark.
Tucked out in the short mid-wicket area. A run was taken. But going back to that catch, I thought that that wasn't a difficult chance in my view, and I felt that should have been taken.
It should have been. I agree with you with this standard of cricket, definitely. But dropped catches are inevitable sometimes.
There is Boyce playing quietly out into the offside, and she has done some good work for Trinidad and Tobago, and one would be looking at her to kickstart this innings and giving Trinidad and Tobago the best opportunity possible. Pulled away that she does, goes down to fine leg, and one run resulting. The score moves up to 8 for 1.
Don't drag it down. Don't drag it down. Come on.
8 for 1 in the second over. And I'm sure Trinidad will be looking for some consolidation from these two, considering they lost Abdul in the first over.
Driven by Joseph out to point. No runs resulting, but quite a pleasant drive in my view. And of course, one would expect Trinidad to settle after that early loss and start to build a partnership. Again, slightly wide of off stump. This one passed under the bat, and she tried again to scoop this one out into the offside. She missed it, ventured to the keeper.
Well, it seemed as if she was almost charging the bowler to an extent. She moved down, the bowler saw her and put it wide of the off stump, and of course she missed it. So good thinking on the bowler's behalf. The end then of the second over, 3 runs from that over from White. It's 8 for 1, 2 overs gone. Current run rate 4. They require 6.
This one is played down to the third man area. It's vacant. Someone running away from the point area and recovers. 2 runs resulting. The score goes on to 10 for 1. Of course, the Jamaicans would have to be a bit tighter in terms of their line. We saw White delivering one that was simply wide and high, and now we see Watts delivering one that, again, wide of off stump. Boyce is correctly forward.
Work, Vanny, work, Vanny, work, Vanny. Come on,
You know,
ladies, come on,
I was
ladies,
looking at the
come on.
batters running
Work,
those
girls,
2
work,
runs.
girls. Big shot
But
coming,
we'll talk
big
about
shot
that
coming.
after this ball.
Yes, big
This one is hit fiercely out to the mid-wicket area or wide lawn area. And there is a single. And of course, your point, Mana.
Yeah, what I was going to say is that in between, they took 2 runs for that ball that went down to third man. But in between, after they took the first run, there seems to almost be this pause, as if they're not communicating with each other. Because, I mean, you know, the standard is, if, you know, when you're passing the batter on your way to take that first run.
You say 1 or 2? Yeah.
Exactly.
Non-drop.
Crashed away by Joseph. Between down to extra cover. There are 2 runs, and throw drives the bowler away from the stumps, bounces out into the onside, and the 2 runs resulting. But the Jamaicans will have to be tight here because the ratio between balls and runs needed has just gone. It was 106, 106.
But what we've seen though in these, what we've seen in a lot of these games is when you're expecting, and especially in the first innings of this game, where the Jamaicans seem to have, they would have had some great momentum, and then all of a sudden it just fell flat. We haven't seen anybody taking charge in the back end of the innings, the business end of the innings. You know, where we see an over can go forward 10, 12, 14, 15. What we saw is just, you know, wickets started to flow. And whereas it looked like Jamaica made top 130, 135, they only ended up at 116.
Yes, that is where I think the ladies' game is not as developed as it ought to be, in my view. In the men's game, of course, you have the last 5 overs is really go man go. But the ladies, of course, they're not that way inclined. I think they intended though. Here is White bowling to Boyce. She leaves this one outside the off stump.
Going very close to that tram line.
Yes.
You know, but no response from the umpire as it relates to that delivery. So very good delivery, passing the batter outside the off.
This one was closer, bubbling between both pads, that one was, and no damage done. The urgency from the Jamaicans can be seen. Of course, it's important for them to maintain restrict the run rate of the Trinidadians and giving themselves the best opportunity to win this game. Here is White, pulled away by Boyce, not timed properly, actually playing it into the ground, and no result, no runs. It's still current, the needed 103, balls 99. I keep that always going. Here is White again from the closer to end, pulled away straight to mid-wicket. There is no runs. She has to place it well. And of course, if you play a nice shot and there is no run, then you know, one wonders. It's important in this game that you score at least one.
Which is one wonders if it's a nice shot or not. If
one
you don't
wonders.
score.
That is correct. Here is one that is played out to a short cover. There is no runs. And, you could see Boyce really wanting to go, but not given the opportunity to do so. She had 2 short ones. She hit them to the fielders.
Exactly.
And so there should be no more opportunities. Here is White. Short cut. This one will go down to third man. There's someone down there. And 1 run resulting.
A very good over indeed from Selena White. She kept Boyce tied down for the 5 deliveries. She got a single off the last one, and I'm sure Jamaica would be very happy with that. Current run rate, of course, 3.5, and the run rate is now over a run a ball. So Trinidad has to be very careful that they do not that they do not, get too far behind the equation of runs and balls, because scoreboard pressure becomes inevitable during those period of time, and we'll see what happens. Boys seem to be very confident. Haven't seen much of Joseph as yet. She's only faced 6 deliveries. And Waysome takes over here at the media center end.
Here she is bowling to Boyce. Up, she hits it to short mid-wicket. Short long on, that is. And she's out caught. She didn't get over it. She simply helped it. What she could have done really was to go hard and go long. And of course, that could have been the way to go. But instead, she simply lifted it up and it went straight to the fielder. She didn't have to move left or right.
Not far enough, not high enough. And as a result, another wicket falls for Trinidad and Tobago. 14 for 2. Boyce, who was looking confident, even though she didn't get that many. She was looking confident, but she's gone. And Leanne Kirby is coming out to take her place.
Yes, it's a good wicket for the Jamaicans to get. And given that the run rate is already looking 6.44 because there are 102 runs, 95 balls. And Waysome could be happy having taken the first wicket, the second wicket that is, and having taken Boyce's wicket is important for. She has the ability to go long and to bat well for the Trinidadians.
Well, the Jamaicans are ramping up the pressure. You can hear them screaming and shouting. Everybody's clapping. And they're egging on, urging Waysome to do something spectacular here with this her first over. And she's taken, of course, a wicket on her first ball.
Yes.
So here she comes once more.
Fifth over.
She's bowling to Kirby.
She's up, she bowls to Kirby. Kirby comes forward, takes the inside edge, goes to backward square. And the single taken, she's, of course, off the mark is Kirby. 1 from 1, needed 101, and ball is 94. The current run rate 3.46. The run rate required is 5.6 plus. And of course, Waysome still would like to do more damage. She's in. She bowls right up there. This one is hit over cover, and it's running down to the boundary. 2 persons pursuing, 2 runs taken, and this is a relatively good over by Waysome, having removed 1 wicket. 3 for 1 she is. She's only bowled 3 balls.
Very good attempt by the fielder. The ball just passed over the outstretched hand. She was trying to get that one. But 2 runs, and I'm sure Trinidad and Tobago will be happy with that.
Flicked away, this one is Joseph. Flicking away down to fine leg. And now they're turning for the second run. And of course, capitalizing on a little mistake. That's leg buys, by the way.
Absolutely.
I thought it was tickled nicely.
But had it not been leg buys, it would have been a drop catch. Because it looks like it touched the keeper's glove on the way down. I could be wrong. It's night here in St. Kitts. But we do have bright lights.
19 for 2. As Waysome comes in to bowl to Joseph, trying to deny Trinidad the victory. And she's back and playing back to the bowler. She falls in an effort to take the return. Well, not a catch, but just to field it. And it eludes her. And of course, she no runs resulting. And Waysome 3 for 1, 5 balls bowled. And Trinidad could be in some trouble if they continue to lose wickets. Here comes.
Well, it's pretty early still. Pretty early days. They're still inside that power play.
She plays and misses outside the off stump. A little wide of off stump that was. She chased it, and of course she missed it. And no result. The score is 19 for 2. And Monarch, we have a good game on our hands in prospect.
Absolutely, and I think it's time for me to take my break.
Yes, this is the fifth over.
I think it's time for me to take my break. So
Let me welcome Joel back. But a game that, to my mind, the interest is building. Run rate required is 6.47. The run rate counter rate is 3.80. Needed runs 97, and balls required 94. Let me welcome back Joel to the microphone and say, sir, this is a good game in prospect. Can you tell me, well, I won't ask you to predict anything, but of course, Trinidad has a chance, Jamaica has a chance.
Yeah, sir, but certainly both sides still in this contest. None really and truly out front just yet. Work to be done at third man, and good work done in the end to keep that down to just one.
We're in the sixth over, actually, and the 20 for 2. 2 wickets falling. Boyce lifting one right into the hands of the short long on, and of course the other opener perished before in the first over. Here is one that is relatively close to the edge as she tried to punch out in the offside. Going past the edge is Selena White, and one hopes that from a Trinidad standpoint that they could be more watchful. Here comes White. She drives, does Joseph, straight to short extra cover. There is no run, and Trinidad would hope that they would build a partnership. Jamaica, of course, will be looking to make further inroads.
Yeah, probably also looking to capitalize on these power play overs and maybe feeling as if she missed out on that occasion. Janaba Joseph with not getting that ball past the short cover. Tucked up on that occasion with one that was just a bit straighter. But yeah, certainly in terms of how she's been playing, looking to capitalize on anything that's full and just given a bit of width, and maybe just feeling as she missed out on the previous delivery.
Driven again fielded, and ball just hitting the field and bouncing away for a minute. They cannot capitalize, and of course during the power play, one normally expect somebody to go long and go big sometimes because most of the fielders are in, but that's not happening. Here was one that is pulled away, not well timed, and just a single had. The score moves on to 21 for 2 in the sixth over, and that's the end of the over.
Yeah, the end of the power play, so the fielding restrictions are now lifted up to a maximum of 5 fielders can be outside of the circle. But just in terms of very quick comparison, looking at where both sides were at this stage, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas 21 for 2. Jamaica, they were 24 for 1 after 6. You would have to say even Stevens in terms of what both teams have done in the power play overs. Just that additional wicket going down for Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, but certainly by no means or stretch of the imagination out of this contest in terms of the start that they've gotten.
Yes, wing of fielders on the offside. At least you see someone down in the third man. It's not very straight. It's very wide. Let me say a point, but on the boundary. Extra cover made off. Here was one hit, attempted hit toward the onside. It cannons into the pad. A symphony of male voices beckoning to the umpire. Of course, the umpire could not be bothered, thinking that apparently hit outside off, maybe.
Just heading down leg on that occasion. Certainly, the heading down leg had to be what was in the umpire's mind.
So in spite of the sweetness of those voices, it was no. Here she is again, number 11, into Joseph. She plays it slightly uppishly to short mid-on. There is no run. Of course, another dot ball, and the pressure will mount at a certain point in time. 82 balls left for 92 runs, I think. And of course, 95 runs required. Waysome. So way into Joseph. She chops this one down to a white third man area. And 1-1 resulting. They must keep these singles going. If you were to keep up with the run rate, 81 balls yet, 94 runs. These singles are important. They're like gold, and of course, for in the case of the Jamaicans, the dot balls are like gold, of course, and trying to deny Trinidad the opportunity to win.
I think to make a change in the field there before that previous delivery. And something I actually thought should have been done from the start of the over, given how she's been bowling. So the long off has come up to mid-off, and mid-on dropped back to long on the bunker, especially given how straight she's bowled. You probably tell yourself that that could be the productive side of the ground in terms of the leg side for those at the crease at the moment.
Here she is again into Joseph. She goes high, goes long, goes hard. And she's now out caught. She's caught on the wide long on boundary. She went long, went hard, and straight to the fielder. She's out caught.
And that's where captaincy comes into play. I mentioned the fact that that long on was dropped back to the boundary. Two deliveries later, taking quite an easy catch. Probably just dragging that ball possibly there was Leanne Kirby. On that occasion, probably could have opted to go a bit straighter, especially given that ball probably just fractionally, just maybe outside of the off stump, on off stump. But that bottom hand coming to play, something that we mentioned in the back half of the innings for Jamaica. But dragging it and offering an easy catch in the end. Delight of Jamaica. The score now 22 for 3, and we're into over number 7.
Yes, I think she dragged it from just outside off stump. Apparently, if she had gone straighter, she might, well, then the straighter boundary would not have been covered, and therefore she would have benefited from that. But she chose rather to go with the natural arc of her body. Everybody wants to go to mid wicket and long on whenever there is something up to them, and she got caught. And Trinidad, of course, it's not a good position to be 22 for 3. But when you look at who's coming to the wicket, they could have a little comfort. Whitney Cooper.
Work, J.A. Come on, ladies.
This, of course, is the 7th over. The last ball of the 7th over coming, Waysome. And with 22 for 3, this could spell some difficulty for Trinidad and Tobago. That one is hit on the pads. Again, a symphony of beautiful voices beckoning to the umpire. But there's no.
Oh, had that been given, they certainly would have been running to the races. Jamaica probably once again just heading down the leg side. But a fantastic over there from Waysome, picking up her second and applying the pressure at the moment for Jamaica.
Yes, the Cooper and her partner may want to discuss long and hard as to what could be done to rebuild. That's Joseph. They should be able to discuss and build a partnership from here. There are not many balls so to do. 78 balls left. 94 runs still to be had, but with 22 for 3, they need to get a larger platform than 22 runs.
Here we go, Nick.
Certainly will look to kick on from here. But if there is somebody that they want to be at the crease, it is Brittany Cooper. Janaba Joseph, though, facing to Nicole Campbell. And that certainly will be called wide.
Campbell, of course, getting her first over. A change of over. It was White coming from that end. Now it's Campbell. First one a wide. Cut away. This one just drops in front of the person at the point area. He hits the ground before getting to her, and so therefore it couldn't be looked at as a chance. Hit the ground quite a while before.
Last two.
But being hit in the air, of course, it gave an opportunity for the fielder, but it fell just before.
Come on,
she would have to be careful.
Energy.
22 for 3. and of course they would have to be very careful.
Stop it.
Cooper comes right forward
Vanessa.
and hits it out to a short mid-off area. Joseph, of course, has been there for a while. She has 8 of 19, and Cooper has just received her second ball from Campbell. She's up, it's outside off stump, and of course, left alone in this form of the game, leaving balls may not be something you want to do quite often, given the scarcity that seems to be hitting Trinidad and Tobago. This one is played on the other side of the bowler, just to her, to the right of the bowler. And as we used to say in those days, play to the non-striker. You're insured of a single sometime.
Work it next, work
There's
it
an
next.
interesting
Energy,
phase
buddy,
in
energy.
the game at the moment.
On the way,
Work.
not well timed by
Stay
Joseph.
alert, twin. Stay alert, twin. Twin. Stay alert. Stay alert. Take some off.
The timing seems to be a little off for Joseph. She has tried several shots, but not getting a hold of them.
No,
Again, this one is short. She cuts away. Someone comes from off the cover boundary, and 1-1 resulting. 26 for 3, and of course, Joel with Trinidad maybe do not have enough balls to do some rebuilding.
Not necessarily looking at the rebuilding factor, given that it's a T20 match, but more so looking at the momentum factor for them. And I think that is what they need at the moment. And obviously, they would not want to lose a wicket, but they just need to get a bit of momentum into the innings, just in terms of getting that scoring rate going. And I do know that Brittany Cooper certainly is the one that can be responsible for that. Quite a long way out in terms of 12 overs left to bowl, but you just want to get in that position where you set yourself up, and you don't want a case where you allow Jamaica to bowl that many dot balls in a row to you.
Slammed away by Cooper, by Joseph, and lifted by Kirby it is.
Give me some energy, BNI. Some energy, some energy. Come
Burnett, I
on.
think it is. And no runs resulting. A really nice game in prospect, in my view. Having lost those 3 wickets, it shows a lot of things into the game all of a sudden. Here she is again, hit away by Joseph for single, down to a wide long area. And she's not thinking of Whitney Cooper turned, and the back of her non-striker Joseph was still turned to her.
Yeah, just have to find a way to put some pressure back on to Jamaica at the moment. At this stage, everything simply is working for Jamaica. No matter what they do, they're able to keep that pressure on. They're being able to pick up wickets.
Pulled away by Whitney Cooper, 1-1 resulting. I should be ill-advised, though, to be pulling balls that seem to be below the roll of her pads. That one didn't make as much height as she anticipated. She pulled anyway, and of course, good eye-hand coordination, you will get it. But after a while, you'll begin to miss those. And if it's lined up with the pads, then you just could become LBW if you miss it. Waysome again from the media center end into Joseph. Joseph back in defense and pushes it back to Waysome.
Yeah, that ball that Cooper played certainly kept a bit low. But just going back to what I mentioned, I think she also senses it in terms of looking to get some impetus into the innings. And this is where certain risk must come into play as well, given that it's a T20 match.
Here is Waysome. She goes big, long, wide, hard. It goes for 6, I think. Let's wait for the umpire's decision. Signal. It's 6 runs to Joseph. She spot that one. It was up to her. And she simply put her foot down and slammed it over a deep and wide mid-wicket for 6 runs.
Yeah, fantastic shot from her there. And just going back to looking to get that impetus into the innings. She played that more so on length than anything else, and knowing that they needed some runs.
This one is right up in the block hole, this one, and it It almost deceived her, really. It was a little outside the off stump. So if she missed it, she would have to have had an inner edge to bring it down to the stumps. But a good delivery to the end, though.
Yeah, good delivery, and that is T20 skills coming to the fore on that occasion. Being dispatched, and I mentioned it was more so on length than anything else because it was really not a bad delivery. It was really made a good delivery, or rather made a delivery in terms of a scoring shot by Janaba Joseph, picking up on the length quite quickly on that occasion. But realizing now the stage that are at in terms of Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas needing to kind of just up the scoring rate a bit. That final delivery going for the Yorker, fantastic skills to close out the over. But that was the over that Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas needed, and now it's just to keep that momentum going just a bit.
Whitney Cooper faces, short, attempted cut, she misses, and the bowler is Nicole Campbell, of course. Still none for four. Bowling from the southern end. Whitney Cooper has a responsibility to give this inning some momentum. Here she is facing Campbell. She tried to go along with this one, and of course she played, I think, outside.
In fact, it looks as if it's a drop catch on that occasion. Looking at the reaction of the fielders, point, the keeper, the bowler, the instant reaction says it could have been a drop catch on that occasion. Probably would have to confirm it with an ultra edge or something of that.
And so now here is Campbell. Now she pats it out in the offside for a quick single. Now she changes her mind from that big whoosh that she had a while ago. Now she goes to, well, just a single to calm things down, to think about it and to maybe regroup and rethink, you know, what is required.
Work, Nick, work, Nick, work, Nick, work, Nick.
If that one was a drop catch, it would be a very interesting moment in the game because the dismissal of Brittany Cooper would have been fantastic for Jamaica. Oh, that was brilliantly played. Skills coming to the fore there by Janaba Joseph. Didn't necessarily have the pace on it though that she required if she was going to get it past third man.
36 for 3.
Work, girls, work, girls, work, girls. Come on, ladies, come on.
The over number 10, and which means I will have to move for a minute. Here she is again. She dabs this one again for a quick single. This okay, she made it. Could have been disastrous though. It was a quick single, but this is what you must do. You must put pressure on the fielders. And of course, once you put pressure on the fielders, mistakes will be made and you will get the benefit. It's now 37 for 3. At the end of the over, I will invite Monarch back to this position. And so, Nicole Campbell.
Work, girls, work, girls, work, girls.
Run rate of 3.76, required 7.77. Here is Joseph facing Campbell. She tries to pull. It's on the leg stump. It's outside the leg stump, and a wide call. Of course, that moves the score to 38 for 3. And Campbell transgressed with that wide. It was a reasonably good over up to this point. And here she is bowling to Joseph. Joseph goes for a big height. She's out stumped. She went for a big hoik down over long off or long on. She missed it. The ball turned away, and the keeper took the bails off, and so the fourth wicket has fallen. 38 for 4. As I invite Monarch back to this position, and of course Manning will give you his thoughts on the fourth wicket having fallen at the score on 38.
Well, that's what pressure does to you. Looking to up things, looking to break the momentum that Jamaica were able to build up in terms of those dot balls and the pressure. Well, Janabja Joseph, she has to go 38 for 4. They are now at the halfway stage. When Jamaica were batting, they were 52 for 2. After 10, so at the halfway stage, you would have to say that advantage Jamaica. However, 10 overs to go. Still a lot of time. 60 balls is a lot when you think about it. in terms of a T20 match. Can Brittany Cooper, who's at the crease, being joined now by the skipper Anissa Mohammed, get that momentum into the game? Can they pick up those tools? Can they capitalize on the bad balls? Can they turn good balls into bad balls and get boundaries and get themselves into that position whereby they can start to really look at getting even closer to that target, taking the game quite late into the 18th, 19th and 20th over. So still a hope for Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas if you're at home watching in Trinidad. And well, if you are supporting Jamaica, you'll probably have a smile on your face at the moment.
Absolutely, smile Jamaica. So yes, halfway through the Jamaican innings, 38. That's a Trinidad and Tobago innings, 38 for 4. After 10, we're completing the drinks break. 2 experienced players at the wicket. I think if they can, bat for the next 5 overs without losing a wicket, losing any of these 2, I think Trinidad, may be in with a chance. However, Jamaica has put a tight squeeze on this game so far. The required weight is slowly creeping up to almost 8 and over as Burnett takes over.
And she helps their cause, the cause of Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas with a white. Certainly this pair would want to bat, but just not bat. Because if they do go at roughly, let's say, maybe 4 and over or so, it wouldn't necessarily still be the position that they want to be in coming into the last phase of this game. It's really about doing the hard yards here for Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas. And that's going to help. And a help in the form of 6.
Okay, there we go. So, Brittany Cooper pulling a short ball square and collecting 6 runs. So 7 runs so far from 1 ball in this over. That helps the equation as it relates to the required run rate. Another couple runs in this over. It may go down below 6. So doing the right thing. Important though that the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas do not lose another wicket in a hurry.
Well, the pressure is on for Burnett now. A wide and a 6.
And this one is pulled again.
And add 4 to that equation. So 11 runs coming off of 2 legal deliveries.
And here we go. Brittany Cooper is on fire. 6 and 4. And, one of the things you always hear folks say, if she go hard again and gets out, then they say, well, hey, you already got 11 runs from the first 2 balls. You don't need it. But I think Trinidad definitely needs to go hard in the next couple of overs to, get that equation closer towards balls and runs.
Yeah, it's really just about playing calculated cricket. It was interesting to note that it just made a slight adjustment in terms of the deep mid-wicket. They actually, in fact, answered now to go maybe about, let's say, 7-8 paces to right into the area at which Brittany Cooper was pulling. But the issue, though, was not necessarily the pull, but the length of deliveries from
Very
Burnett.
Short. Absolutely.
Goes Fuller and nearly reaps the success there, looking to take on that space that was created by shifting the deep mid-wicket to the right. Was Brittany Cooper guessing inside edge onto the pad and almost found its way onto the stump. So 2 dot balls, and you talked about the fact that, having 11, some would say, take no more. I say take all that's on offer, Brittany Cooper. See, that's the cricket that we're playing. If there are runs to be scored, score the runs. And she's still looking for them. Pressure on. Would have needed a direct hit on that occasion.
It's another single to Cooper. She moves on to
Middle. Right hand over, 1 remaining.
and that brings up the 50 for the Red Force Divas.
Well, the skipper, Anissa Mohammed, she's going to face her first now. Oh, cut away. And cut away well. Will it reach the boundary, though? Pulled back inside. And can probably think about 3 here if they want it. Decide against it. So 2 to close it out. 15 runs, in fact, in that over. 14, in fact, sorry. So 14 runs coming off the first over for Burnett. A very productive one for Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas.
Absolutely.
After 11, it's 52 for 4.
And it's pushing them in the right direction. The scoring rate, whereas it was heading towards 8, it's now heading back towards 7. Currently 4.73, so they've moved up. And 64 runs needed in 54 balls. That's very gettable. But considering what we've seen so far in this tournament, hey, anything is possible. And I'm sure Jamaica is not going to go down without a fight tonight.
Work it, Nick. Work it,
Cooper on 15.
Come on.
And she will be taking strike from Campbell, who has picked up 1 for 8 so far in our first 2 overs.
Come on, Nick. Come on, Nick.
Just
Come on,
1
Nick.
from that one. But certainly, in this game of cricket, anything is possible. And almost 2 contrasting innings here being played. In terms of Jamaica, the stage that they were at, we were saying that they were well set, well poised to launch. The Trinidad and Tobago Red Force having to do the heavy lifting a lot earlier than Jamaica, in terms of the fact that they lost those 3 early wickets, in terms of the fact that they were 22 for 3 and 6.5, and then having to really push on a lot earlier from there. And I mentioned the fact that Brittany Cooper, certainly to my mind, is that piece of the puzzle for them. If she can back them down to 17, I am pretty sure that they'll be very close to where they want to be.
And of course, Anissa Mohammed is no slouch herself. She's played some important innings for Trinidad and Tobago and also the West Indies. So if she can be the foil for Brittany Cooper, you know, maybe great things ahead for Trinidad and Tobago. But it's a wait and see. And there's a wide one from Campbell, going wide off the off stump. Umpire signals, and so she'll have to bowl that one again. 54 for 4, 11.2 gone. We're looking at another 8.4.
Well, finds the gap.
And this one is heading out to the boundary. Let's see
And
if it has
finds the boundary.
legs.
Does Anissa Mohammed, her first boundary of this encounter.
Absolutely, and that's a good shot. Didn't look like it had the legs to get there, but it beat the 3 fielders who were chasing it down. 4 runs to Anissa Mohammed to get her to move her on to 6, and from 3 balls. So just what the doctor ordered. 58 for 4, and that equation is getting closer and closer. The required run rate is now down below 7 per over, and this is what this partnership can do.
Yeah,
Anissa was looking, of course, for 2 runs. Brittany Cooper said, hold your horse. We do not need to lose another wicket. We've got a game to win to take the points and lead the table in this Cricket West Indies Women's T20 Blaze. Been played here at Warner Park in beautiful St. Kitts.
I think in this partnership, we're certainly going to see the difference between the 2 players in terms of Brittany Cooper being that power and Anissa Mohammed being that timing. And that's what we saw from the ball that went over cover.
Yes.
We saw the placement and offer when she swept it down towards fine leg. And what we're seeing is fantastic running to close out the 12 over. After 12, it's 60 for 4.
60 for 4, and this partnership is looking good so far. 22 runs from this partnership so far Last wicket fell at 38. Extras a 6. And we definitely do have a game on our hand here at Warner Park. And of course, hey, it's the summer of fun. And this Cricket West Indies T20 Blaze is now featuring prominently as part of the summer of fun here in St. Kitts. Not only will we have more cricket next week with the Leeward Islands Masters Tournament, but we have a summer of music and food, including the Mango Festival in Nevis starting at the end of the month. And then, of course, our super 25th anniversary music festival. Watts is in.
White ball.
Down the leg side, umpire signals are wide. 61 for 4.
Yeah, after the over from Shireen Burnett going for 14, certainly expected change had to be made from this end, especially given that Brittany Cooper is still out there. Watts, 1 for 10. It was from her 2 to start. Back now to maybe try to just put that pressure back on in terms of the dot balls. You certainly know that Brittany Cooper, though, is still going to go after her, and she has that protection with the deep mid wicket, the long on as well. Can't get it through that offside. If she did, 2 would have been off her, maybe 4. Given that I mentioned the fact that she's a very powerful striker of the ball.
Absolutely, she is the one who is exerting power down here. But a good bit of feeling from the fielder here, because as you say, had that gone by, could have been a 2 or 3.
Yeah, and this is where thinking comes into play, because I mentioned Anisa Mohammed being that skillful, crafty cricketer, probably more so the timing, looking to find the areas. They dropped back the fine leg onto the boundary, actually now to what is a deep backward square leg as the mid-off to come into the circle.
Yep.
And that's because you're looking for things like that, where Anisa Mohammed is just looking to manipulate the field, work it around, get Brittany Cooper back onto strike, maybe take 2, and when it's in her half, in her arc, capitalize on it in terms of the timing of the ball.
Leg by signal by the umpire, though. But, I mean, she definitely had the right intention. As you say, just she was looking to just turn it on the onside and get in Brittany Cooper back in strike, which, of course, she is now. Watts.
This time, can't get the single, and it's really because of how hard she's hitting that ball. All the fielders who are in the circle are starting on the ring for Brittany Cooper, and that's because they don't really expect her to drop the ball and run.
And there she goes, sweeping that one. Good feeling. Only a single allowed, but she had the right intention that time. A little bit more power, that would have flew past the short square leg, who is going back on the boundary now with Anisa Mohammed taking strike. Final ball of the 13th over, 64 for 4.
Down the track. Not getting the connection that she wanted. The intention was there, though. A single to end the 13th. It's 65 for 4.
65 for 4. And we've got a very good match on our hand here with Brittany Cooper batting and, needing 6 or 7 runs and over. That's always a possibility because, as you say, she hits the ball hard. And then her foil is Anisa Mohammed at the other end, who, as you say, skillful. She nudges the balls here and there. And it's important for her to get Brittany Cooper back on strike so that, Trinidad and Tobago can keep motoring on to the 160 needed. 51 runs in 42 balls. Let's see how the rest of this innings go. We're ready to start the 14th over with Campbell coming in from Lozak Road end.
Well, this one, she goes after it. And gets it mightily over the boundary. That's a big one. That's 6.
An unusual strike from Anissa, but she is showing her experience here. That definitely is a bold strike from her. The ball went high, but it did have the body and legs to get over mid-on. 6 runs. A very important, a very big blow to start the 14th over.
Yeah, it's really just her playing with the field positions. We saw the ball before that in terms of the one she got the single off of. The mid-off was up. She looked to go over the mid-off. This time the mid-on is up, and she gets it over the mid-on. And this time now looking to rotate the strike after that one. But really and truly, you just see her counting and saying, okay, this is where the fielders are. And she's really that thinking cricketer, that skillful cricketer, one who exploits things. And you're just seeing it come to the fore there, all of that experience of Anissa Mohammed.
Her international experience is coming to the fore here tonight.
Gets out the dancing shoes again, but just to the tune of 1 this time. It'll be interesting to see now what Brittany Cooper does, given that 7 runs have been taken out of the over already. Does she continue to look for a boundary in this over? Or does she hand it back over to Anissa Mohammed? She's gifted a gift. It's an extra run, an extra ball. Something that Jamaica can ill afford, because once again it just keeps that momentum going for Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas. We wondered what Brittany Cooper would do. She hands it back over to Anissa Mohammed, and in this period of play, it's certainly fantastic cricket from Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas. I talked about the fact that they needed that momentum. They needed to just kick on a bit from a bit earlier, and they did just that, getting themselves into striking position.
Yeah, and after a 6 from the first, here's another wide by Campbell, and Jamaica could ill afford these mistakes at this particular time. That now. This over has cost them 10 runs so far, with 2 balls to go still. 13.4 gone. Okay, that one's played down to backward point. Fielder is just around the 30-yard circle. Stopped it, no run. 1 ball to go. It's 75 for 4. And Trinidad is doing their best, these 2 at least, to get closer and closer to that score of 115.
Meets it on the full. 14 bowled. 7-6 for 4.
11 from that over, and that's a pretty good over for Trinidad and Tobago, because, as I said, the equation, now we're getting towards the back end of the innings. The equation is getting closer. 40 runs in 36 balls. Brittany Cooper is on 20 from 22. Anissa Mohammed is smartly powered her way to 16 off of 11 so far. And the partnership is looking like 38, if I'm not mistaken. We'll check that in a minute for confirmation. But a very good partnership by these 2 indeed. And they've given Trinidad maybe just a slight, if any at all, a slight advantage.
Well, it's Wasom to bowl her final over of this innings. And she's gone through Anissa Mohammed. She's crashed into the off stump. And that's delight for Jamaica.
Wasom picking up her 3rd wicket. A wicket that Trinidad and Tobago could ill afford. But that's the game of cricket. Jamaica, of course, they're trying their best as well to get the victory here today. and Waysome is playing her part. She now has 3 for 12 in 3.1 overs. So she's doing a great job here for Jamaica as they're now getting out of that huddle and getting ready, of course, to see what Alexander brings to the crease as she's the new batter coming in.
Oh, that's what Jamaica needed to break the momentum. Just that shift in terms of Anisa Mohammed using her feet, capitalizing, getting some runs. You had Brittany Cooper also getting some runs in there. And it's at this stage now, a new batter at the crease. Can they prize out one more? Can they string together some dot balls here? Jamaica. Kirbiana Alexander to face. And she's off the mark immediately.
Yes.
A very important 16 from 12 though for Anisa Mohammed, just at the time that Trinidad and Tobago Red Force needed her.
And Alexander, of course, gets off the mark. And one of the important things is that she put Brittany Cooper back on strike as well. So I'm sure Trinidad and Tobago would love that. And here she goes, just pushes that one into the offside and takes an easy single.
It'll be interesting to see how Alexander goes about her innings now. We saw Anisa Mohammed looking to also be quite positive. Will Alexander take up a similar role, or will her role be to allow Brittany Cooper to face as many deliveries as possible? Two runs in the wicket from this over. How does Waysome closes out for Jamaica? If just one more run in it, you would have to see a fantastic over all around for her at a very crucial point.
Yes.
Heading into the 15th over here now.
Exactly. And, picking up Anisa Mohammed in this over was vital. Another single to Alexander. And she gets Cooper back on strike again for the final ball of Waysome's spell. She's now picked up 3 for 15 so far. Has done a credible job of, giving Jamaica hope in this game today.
Well, just one as we head in to the final 5, the final 30 balls of this match. 15 gone. It's 80 for 5.
80 for 5 in the 15th over, 10 extras. And we're looking at a required run rate of 7.2. 36 runs needed in 30 balls.
It's just interesting to note the momentum for Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas there, whereby being 38 for 4, they were able to motor on to 80 for 5 and putting themselves in a position that Jamaica were similar to being 88 for 2 after 15. However, we saw Jamaica fall away at the back end of
and
their
lose
innings.
Quite a few wickets as well.
What can Trinidad do differently here, because they've already lost the wickets that Jamaica hadn't lost at this point? So very interesting with the final 30 balls of this match.
Absolutely. Very intriguing situation here at Warner Park. Nation is going to bowl for the first time in this innings. Brittany Cooper, 22 from 24. Kabiana Alexander, 2 from 3. As Nation comes in to bowl to Cooper, who pushes that one out on the onside. And Nation gets a dot ball for her first ball.
A very intriguing game here, Monarch. One wonders who will win this one, and that is why we have encouraged the local...
that's why we're here until the end.
to look at this game. Here's Cooper hitting one down to the wide leg wicket area. In fact, there is one. They turn for a second. The Batter going to the non-strikers end was a bit challenged, but she overcame eventually. Another 2 runs to Whitney Cooper, 82 now for 5. And of course, we're seeing a very keen contest here. And Jamaica is trying their best to undo Trinidad and Tobago. Here she's again into Cooper. She's foul defensive, a quick single taken. And these dot balls is what will give Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, the momentum that they need to take them to victory. Without those dot deliveries, these 6s and 4s means nothing. And I see Whitney Cooper herself touching and running, which is a very important part of the cricket that we have not seen much of during this series.
Well, in the match so far, we've had 10 4s and 3 6s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, but the dot balls being very heavy, and I'm asking someone to look for me, look and see how many dot balls have been accumulated. The ball cutting wide and missing.
Interesting that didn't go past the tram line. I thought it did, but so there was no alarm from the batters.
Turned away by Alexander into the mid-wicket area. So
and here they go for an overthrow.
And a second one is taken. And of course, the momentum, of course, as Joel been saying, is now with the Trinidadians. And the Jamaicans are trying to break that momentum. And the only way to do so, they can bowl dot balls or take wickets.
Well, I'm not sure that the momentum is with Trinidad and Tobago. I think we're more even than anything. 85 for 5. Still needs, 15 and 16, 31 runs. So, and that's a wide.
Off stump again, giving free stuff to Trinidad and Tobago. A wide ball releases the pressure, and it gives a run and an extra ball. She comes forward, works it into the short mid-wicket area. No runs allowed. The feeling is good, and the batting is also good. It's a keen contest, and one would hope that we have the best team winning tonight.
And well, we don't know who is the best. or whoever wins becomes the best team. That is correct. All right. So, Chadi Nation, considering that this was her first over, which was the 16th, credible 6 runs off the over. She had 3 dot balls. Of course, she had that wide that took the tally up. But I think this game is still in the balance. 30 runs needed from 4 overs. And we'll see. There's got to be at least 1 or 2 big blows in order for Trinidad to get over the hump. That's what I'm thinking. Or you're going to have to score singles off of every ball. And, leaving you with, less than 6 or less than 7 in the final over. 4 more to go.
Selena White comes back. She runs up, doesn't deliver. And but in context of the match, though, I think that Whitney Cooper has, she's done very well, and in shepherding the team. She tries a naughty shot, in my view, and again a symphony of voices beckoning to the umpire to give a decision, but the decision is no. She was wrapped on the pads, obviously, but she was trying to lift this one out on the onside. The onside is not as populated as the offside. There's quite a bit of real estate unmanaged on the onside. So she was trying something, she missed it. Well, and an appeal went up.
White has been very miserly so far. Here we go.
It's hard, this one goes long,
down the ground, and it's 4 runs.
4 runs to Whitney Cooper. A lofty, a big blow by Whitney Cooper. Of course, this will do some damage to the, to the Jamaican effort.
And just as I said that she was miserly, because first 3 overs she was 3 none for 6. With 3.2 overs, she's now almost double that amount of runs. Here she comes once more, and Cooper swings again.
Cooper, she hits that ball hard when she hits it, and that one was the one before the last delivery was up in her half. She simply lifted it over the non-striker
and placed it, and placing and timing was also perfect as well, because there were two feelers on the boundary.
She goes to one, didn't time it. It bubbles from her pads out in the offside, and no runs resulting. White, of course, is coming in for a little treatment from Brittany Cooper. Somebody must receive that, or for Trinidad to get over the hump, somebody must be punished. Here is White. She goes again for a big hit. She misses. In fact, I think she is bold.
Giving it away, basically.
Yes, she.
I knew she had to go, but a better shot would have probably been what is required at this time. She went across the line, and as a result, she's on her way back to the pavilion.
She went down on one knee. I think the length was not there. She went down on one knee trying to lift it. She missed it, and it cannoned into her stumps. Brittany Cooper is out, and this, of course, will give Trinidad and Tobago something to think about.
So, after the second ball 4 off of White's over, she's now conceded 3 dot balls since that. The final one, of course, resulted in the wicket of Brittany Cooper. Ramharak is her replacement. She walks out to join Alexander, who is on 4 for 6. So a great over from Selena White, her final over.
One remaining.
Because she has now, based on the 4 dot balls that she's bowled so far, has pushed the required run rate to over 8. Now, that's not impossible, but the history of the tournament so far will tell us that, if you do get it, then good for you.
But of course, the dot balls created some pressure for Brittany Cooper. She thought she had to go, and she erred. And there is a one that is pulled high and hard over backward square leg. It's going on to the boundary. In fact, she just stopped it inside the boundary, and they're running for 3.
Absolutely good running indeed. The
2
ball.
or 3?
3. The fielder, the ball went over her head. It seemed to have spun away from her when it fell. She did some good footwork, in preventing that additional run, but the batters still get 3. So 7 runs from that over, not bad. The only thing is that Brittany Cooper is not at the wicket.
Yes, I appreciate the effort by the fielder down on the boundary, the commitment. Even though she was beaten by that ball, she chased it all the way, and of course she saved something, giving Jamaica their best opportunity. 23 runs from 18 balls. It is still possible. Either team could win, but dot balls are what are required at this point in time. And of course, the fielding, the field is being set by the captain to make sure everybody's in place.
And that's a rare 3 here at Warner Park.
Rare 3. Yes, one of the things that happened to this tournament is that we have not seen many 2s. And I'm speaking basically because I've seen Leewards, on many occasions, they can look for 2, but they're just satisfied with 1. And only history will tell you, what their position is at the moment at the bottom.
Okay, so Ramharak takes strike.
Nation ball, she swings. It comes off the inner edge or on the edge. It goes down to backward square leg, 1-1 resulting, and the score moves on to 96.
And it's interesting.
94 for 6.
It's interesting though that may not necessarily would have been 2 runs. Alexander basically was just, unaware. There was no urgency whatsoever. Ramharak turned around and
looking for 2. This one is
Just
hit
one, Corey.
nicely.
Come on, Corey, Corey.
She didn't get the full bat in it. Oh, no, here's a run out. It should be out. Thinks the umpire brings out.
She is out.
Yes, that ball was hit down to the by Alexander.
Long on.
Down to long on. The fielder collected. They were pushing for 2. I wonder if there's need for for such urgency at this point in time.
Well,
but they ran and she was short of a ground. She was run out.
I thought it was a good attempt at the second run. Of course, the good feeling from the batter. Good feeling from the fielder as well, and a good throw back to the wicket keeper, which was close enough to the stump, and she just beat Ram Harak into her crease.
22 runs from 17 balls, and with another 4 wickets to go. Apparently, they say, well, let us see what we can get, given that we have a few more wickets in the hutch. 95 for 7, Trinidad and Tobago, facing Jamaica.
And Nation
Watch me.
has
Corey.
is into her second over, of course, and quite a few dot balls, 8 runs so far. So considering what the required run rate is, Nation is doing pretty good. She now comes into bowl to O'Neill, who is the new batter.
Well, if there's any ball you want, is a full toss to start. Looking for the no ball call, but instead, she's got to walk back.
And there's no indication from the umpire, so this is definitely the 8th wicket going down. And that was loopy, full. O'Neill swung at it, and it didn't go off the square. She was caught right around the 30-yard circle. So, 95 for 8. There's some kind of desperation now. 17.3 gone, 2.3 to go. 21 runs, 15 balls. Who will do it?
Well, to be honest, if there's any ball that you want at this stage of the game, square leg in the circle, deep mid wicket, you would almost have to say in a corner position, a full toss is exactly what you want. Didn't get herself in the best of positions to hit that one. Look to see whether or not it would have been called for the height. It was not. And because of that, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas finding their innings, taking a similar path to that of Jamaica at the moment. 95 for 8. Steffi Sugram is at the crease now. That one beating the outside edge. Jamaica right now sensing blood, searching for victory number 2.
And everybody's busy walking in, walking back to their position, and of course clapping and chirping as well.
That one was loopy. That one was tempting, and that one ended up being a dot ball. So everything coming. And this Shadeen Nation over the run out, the wicket. And for those wondering, no, that does not mean it was a hat-trick delivery that Sugram was facing. The final ball. And it produces something that we saw at the start, a single. So 2 runs from it, 2 wickets. It's 96 for 8. 18 overs have been bowled.
2 overs to go, 96 for 8, and balance maybe just tipping a little bit towards, more than a little bit, towards Jamaica. As you said, Joel, the same pattern in the first innings where there was a point in each innings where teams were, stable, looking good, looking like they're going to get something reasonable. And then comes the fall of a couple of wickets, and we're back. Trinidad and Tobago, that is back to needing 20 runs from the last 2 overs. Not impossible, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, certainly not impossible, but it will take some good striking. And this is where I think Brittany Cooper just maybe missed the trick in terms of the shot that she played at that stage. Yes, they needed runs, but she already got the boundary in her over, and it was really about calculating at that stage in terms of the fact that, okay, I need to be there, correct, as I mentioned, down in towards here.
Because this is, okay, there's a wide from the first ball from Vanessa Watts. Interesting. So 1 run. No ball in this over so far. But I definitely agree with you. I think Brittany Cooper could have just played it cool, take it single, and be prepared for these overs.
Well, you're questioning if that ball hit pad first. The umpire says no. It didn't bat and pad. We're quite close on that occasion. But just looking at the overs that had to be bowled, that's the other reason I'm talking about Brittany Cooper in terms of when I looked at that bowling card, I was wondering who would bowl the last 3 overs for Jamaica. And that's where I think Brittany Cooper could have really, said, okay, there's a possibility of a spinner being in there, the spinner being an off-break bowler as well, so it goes into her swinging arc. Yes. You know for sure that they probably would not have gone back to Burnett, who went for 14 in the 1 over that she bowled as well. So just looking at, starting to calculate the back end of it, and this is where the conversation comes at the higher format of the game, and why I think a lot of guys have really excelled and done well, especially the captains that we've seen go around the international circuit. They're extremely good. You talk about the likes of maybe like a MS Dhoni and what, so in terms of calculating who has to come and bowl those final overs. And I always say, the deeper I can take it, can I get it into over number 19 and still be there?
Now, these analytics are very important, and sometimes, of course, you have to calculate it when you're on the ground, to ensure, well, who's going to bowl. And as you said, Burnett went for 14. Nation came on as a new bowler. So that was something to, for Brittany Cooper to think about.
Well, ones won't do it for Trinidad, and every one that they get, Jamaica will smile and say we're closer to going 2 out of 2 here in this CWI Women's T20 blaze.
Yep, as you say, the singles won't do it. They're needing 2 runs per ball right now. 18 runs, 9 balls.
Believe, Bunny, believe.
That one falls short of long off. And again, another single for Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas. But yeah, just going back to that Brittany Cooper, and that single brings up the 100 for Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas. They would be happy, yes, to be at 100, but we want to be obviously a lot closer to that target, because that's really what matters at the end of the day.
This ball is hardly getting off the square with any power or velocity, and that's not gonna, that's not gonna win this match for the Red Force Divas. They're needing 16 of the final over, and we'll see who's gonna bowl this over. Looks like Nation. She's heading back to the Lozak Road end, hands the umpire her glasses or her hat. Well, and she's ready to bowl to Sugrim, who has 3 from 6 and needs to go long, needs to go hard, and needs to go wide if Trinidad is going to have, any opportunity to win this game.
1 at a time, come on.
16 from 6. Here we go.
1 dash 1.
There's 1.
Gonna probably push for 2.
Shut in.
And here's where the combative errors will hurt them, because that is a run out. The 9th wicket down. You always sensed maybe should have been pushing for that too.
For the
but
2 runs. And
Sugrim has to go. It's now 101 for 9.
And as I said earlier, where it seemed as if that in between runs, so they took the first run, and the batter was completely satisfied. Of course, the non-striker, at least it was the striker for that ball. I mean, she was actually all the way back in the crease at the Lozak Road end before the batter, who is O'Neill, even started to attempt the second run. So 9 down, 100 for 9, 19.1 gone. Of course, these matches are going down to the very last over, but the scores so far has not been good, but this is, women's cricket. And so we're not going to get the 200, 300s every day.
Thank you. Bowler is right
Well,
arm
5
over.
balls to go. 15 runs needed.
No, did it?
Had she left that, probably might have been called a wide.
And she would have gotten an extra ball to get, some of that 15 runs. So 101, 14 to go.
Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas need to find the boundary. Can Celine O'Neill do it for them? Asking the sweeper on the boundary to come up towards cover. Long off, long on, deep mid wicket, deep backward square leg. Gets a good connection, but not good enough as they look for 2 here, and they probably will get it because of the throw. The height of the throw
Yes,
was a problem there, but in fact, actually, had that ball hit the stump,
wicket, she
I
would have
probably
been out.
wonder if she would have made her ground
She would have been out
as well.
She was short of her ground. Of course, we don't have the benefit of the replay here, but it definitely looks like she was struggling to make it in to her crease. But 2 runs, the intent is right, the urgency is right, just maybe a bit too late for
Well,
the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force.
Never say that. 12 from 3. And a dot ball now, so they must clear the ropes for these final 2 deliveries. If not, Jamaica, the defending champions, they'll have another victory.
And go to the top of the table.
It gets it through. And gets it to the boundary. So 8 runs now needed from 1 ball. So
1 legal delivery.
you just
left.
need to ensure that Shadeen Nation doesn't overstep. Probably would not want to bowl a wide either.
Or a no
1
ball.
illegal delivery remaining here. Overall, though, it's been a wonderful match. This match number 6 of the T20 Blaze.
Yeah, and most of the matches are going down to the wire. So matches are the scores might be low, but the matches are very interesting. So be good to see some more folks out here at Warner Park supporting these young ladies.
Well, a wide called, and now the possibility of a tie and a super over comes into the equation here.
Absolutely. Well,
7 needed from 1 ball. Can Celine O'Neill clear the ropes? Can she tie this match for Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas?
and give us that super over.
She can't, and what that means is that a perfect record for the defending champions, Jamaica. They go 2 from 2 here in the CWI Women's T20 Blaze.
Top the table as well. So congratulations to Jamaica, Trinidad, and Tobago Red Force. They did definitely fight as hard as they could. They were definitely on their way with Anissa Mohammed and Brittany Cooper at the crease. Unlike just like Jamaica, though, they lost their way. And as a result, the Jamaicans are leaders of the pack, as they've won their second game in a row by 6 runs, defeating Trinidad and Tobago, of course, tonight here at Warner Park.
Well, a fantastic all-round performance, would have to say, from Jamaica. They started well with the bat, lost their way in the back end. But in terms of the performance with the ball throughout this innings, you would have to say that they pretty much hit the mark. 1 or 2 expensive overs they had, but subtract those, and you would have to say that all around was a fantastic performance from Jamaica here to win by 6 runs over Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas.
They looked very confident when they took the field. And as you said, though there were a couple shaky overs, one went for 14, one went for 11, at a time when the calculations, the required run rate had come all the way back down from 7.8 to below 7. And Trinidad and Tobago with Anissa Mohammed and Cooper was definitely looking good at that particular point. But the wickets kept falling. And as a result, we have another Jamaican victory by 6 runs. They top the table. And so we've had 2 days of cricket. And we'll be back, of course, on Tuesday for more cricket here at Warner Park. More cricket here at Warner Park, of course.
Yeah,
so
that's the big one.
today, the matches for today, Guyana took on Barbados. Guyana 91 for 3, Barbados 92 for 7, and the Windwards took on the Leewards. 127 for 4 was the Windward score, 82 for 6, the Leewards. And of course, this match, Jamaica versus Trinidad and Tobago. Jamaica women winning by 6 runs to top the table. We'd like to thank you very much for joining us here at Warner Park. We'll be back on Tuesday, the 23rd of May at 10 a.m. for 3 more exciting games in the Cricket West Indies Women's T20 Blaze. Thank you again from Warner Park. Have a good night.